Welcome everybody to our third to last session of Candlekeep Mysteries. So yep, only 3 sessions left in our campaign here. We missed playing last week, so for a lot of the players it's going to be a bit of a catch-up / reminder for our recap here, but we'll do our recap as usual and then we will get into things. So the group will likely remember you guys have spent the last 2 sessions that we have played actually spending time in Neverwinter, as you guys have been exploring that city, working on a contact of Leopold's, gathering some information, and getting up to a lot of different odds and ends in the city. When we started last session 2 weeks ago, the group was inside the Come and Stay Inn, which was owned by an acquaintance of an acquaintance. So Leopold's friend, Mr. South, who owns the pawn shop, had a friend who was an alchemist who had a wife who was the owner of the Come and Stay. So that's how you guys made your way over to here, eventually learning of some of this information at the end during the whole events of being followed by the juvenile blue jay. You guys made your relaxation inside the inn, took your soaking baths, had a good old joyous time there, and then eventually came down the next morning to grab some breakfast. When you had done so, you noticed that the child who you had spotted before on the vessel as you guys had traveled from Luskan down to Neverwinter, the site of the famous sea swindle, of course, you guys noticed this child sitting there, kind of approached him and eventually struck up a conversation. Lexi was quite reluctant at first and did not want to speak with the kid, said she wasn't particularly good with kids. But the rest of the group, most of you guys started off meeting the kid, and he went on to explain that he wasn't really a kid, and he gave you guys a bit of his backstory information and indicated that he is a druid, and in fact he is what is known as a chosen one of Sylvanas. So the chosen of the deities, those of you that are of some religious background know that deities in Faerun can actually select an individual to become one of their chosen. Usually they select somebody that really reflects the attributes, the goals, the desires, and the portfolio of the deity in question, and the chosen one is imbued with powers beyond what most mortals would consider typical. Oftentimes their lifelines or lifetimes, the number of years of life they have within them, are extended, sometimes very dramatically so. And as the child who you guys learned his name was Lateran, as he explained all this information to you, he indicated that he was perhaps more well informed about the reason why your group was here in Neverwinter than you guys had originally suspected. He knew seemingly of Brandel's current predicament, namely that Brandel's soul is currently pledged in a hellish contract that is held by another, and should Brandel fall, well, his soul will be headed down to Avernus. With this information in hand, Lateran explained that he had sort of been watching alongside the group and trying to gauge your intentions, perhaps learn a bit more about you, and he specifically mentioned to Brandel that he was looking to let go of his responsibilities as being a chosen of Sylvanas. He indicated that he had lived quite a long life. Even though he looked to be a child, he was actually much older than you would have ever expected, and he said that if he was to give up this role, he essentially, well, it's not fully up to him. His desire or his selection of an heir as a chosen of Sylvanas would, according to him, be looked on very highly by Sylvanas himself. So essentially, Lateran was eyeing Brandel as sort of a test case to see if Brandel had what it took to become a chosen of Sylvanas, and this relationship or this title of chosen of Sylvanas maybe at first doesn't seem like it would fit like a glove for Brandel, as it's very nature oriented, which when Lateran dismissed Brandel and asked the rest of the companions here some information how suitable Brandel would be in this role, and tried to pretty much feel the group out on their thoughts of this plan, if this made any sense. Several of you spoke up and indicated that Brandel was, a great person, had what it took to fill this role, and could pretty much do whatever he set his mind to. Ranvan in particular pointed out that while this might not seem like the most natural of fits, if Brandel, again chooses to do this and really adheres to it and follows up with it, he certainly could be successful. and perhaps this would give him more opportunity to do some of the things that he hadn't been able to do younger in his life, perhaps. So this was obviously a very attractive proposition. Brandel had to think it over for a while, but namely the extension of life would mean that Brandel would have far more time to solve this whole dispute with the hellish contract, and if he was able to somehow get out of that deal, then he would be free to, when he ultimately did die, head to his preferred afterlife. But if that is not taken care of before then, of course, we all know what awaits Brandel. So this was a lot of heavy information that Lateran laid before the group, and Brandel in particular, and then said, keep in mind that this is not a guarantee, this is not a done deal, but if this is something he was interested in, then Lateran essentially would be watching him and taking measure of his progress, and set before him a particular task of an enemies of Sylvanus's that is south of Candlekeep, is the way he mentioned it, in a mountain range there. And while Lateran said he couldn't give away too many details, he said he was confident that the group would know this enemy when they spotted it, because it's not the kind of enemy that tries to hide or tries to use deception or tries to fake and pretend to be something that it is not, and that it would be very obvious that this is the enemy of Sylvanus when the group found it. Lateran indicated that if the group was able to go and willing to help Brandel in this task and defeat this enemy, that would certainly look very favorably upon his chances of becoming the next chosen of Sylvanus. With that information laid before the group, Lateran answered some of you guys' questions, and he eventually even got Lexi over there to talk with him. Lexi was convinced that this kid was totally full of shit and tricking the entire group. But over time, Lateran tried to explain to her that that wasn't the case, and tried to give her a little bit more info and convince her otherwise. Eventually, Lateran left and made his way back out of the inn here, and you guys continued discussing and debating what it is exactly that you wanted to do next, namely that you could potentially follow up on this lead that Lateran has left before you, or you could continue following up on the previous lead that you had. There wasn't necessarily a critical time urgency with this whole Chosen of Sylvanus arc, so the group decided to continue checking out some of their other leads. Namely, they looked for Mr. South once again, as he was arranging some information about a buyer of some infernal artifacts that the group was hoping would allow them to procure some more additional information. Eventually, the group was able to discover that Mr. South was not at his store, and the person that he had asked to be there in his stead had explained that he didn't come in that day. There was this sort of strange statue artifact on the counter. The group communicated, used some magic to cast sending to Mr. South and find out some more information from him. He explained that he was basically secured away and in hiding because he was very concerned about a series of events that was unfolding before him related to this artifact and to the group itself. He indicated that some information essentially had made its way to him that sort of eyes, you could think of it as eyes were on the group, and they knew that the group had been going to his shop, and this was of great concern. The group decided eventually to, I believe they convinced the shopkeeper who was there in his stead, convinced him that Mr. South said they could take the artifact, and taking the artifact with them, made their way over to the Black Lake District, and the intent there was to convince the guards that they were there to speak with an individual that lived within, hoping to get access to Black Lake District itself. Upon doing so, the guards seemingly were already prepared and ready for the group, which was a bit of a surprise. So the group was allowed in and escorted directly to Ladamalu's mansion. Ladamalu was the bird creature that the group had learned about previously, and supposedly was an expert on everything to do with the Nine Hells, and if anybody knew of a way to break Brandel's contract or in other way get out of this deal, it was thought that Ladamalu might be that person. Upon entering Ladamalu's mansion, the group found that it was very elaborate, very lavish, and I think everybody aside from Leopold, who had actually already seen the mansion through the benefits of the crystal orb, was probably very impressed just by the level of quality and wealth that is at effect here in the mansion. The group was able to speak to Ladamalu. He wasn't in hiding or anything like that. He presented as himself, as this bird, humanoid bird type creature. He did keep his distance, spoke from a second level, calling down to the group down below as they had entered this mansion. And after a deal was struck, namely that the legendary crystal orb that Leopold had been using to scry on anybody and everybody in the entire world was offered up to Ladamalu as payment in order to provide as much information as possible about the whole circumstance. Ladamalu agreed to this deal, had one of his underlings, this construct, collect the orb and bring it up to him. So the information that Ladamalu provided was that the Cult of the Raging Fiend, which had previously been known to have been headquartered in Neverwinter and some years ago had been cast out of the city, they had taken their organization, for the lack of a better term, to the south, to this village known as the Village of Basalt. He indicated that the headquarters was underneath the church in the village and that it was very much a hidden type of enterprise, and that the group would have to go there and know what they're looking for in order to find it. He also explained that the individual that held Brandel's soul in contract form was none other than M himself, who the group had met many long days ago, back when they were in Avernus in trying to take care of the events of descent into Avernus. The group was told that it's very rare, nearly unheard of, for a devil to agree to give up a soul, so some type of massive deal would have to be arranged, and the group likely would have to give up a lot or find some other way of extracting the soul out from M himself without, this Ladamalu essentially explained that if you just try to go there and ask nicely, it's not going to work out well, and it would be best if the group was as prepared as they could be for any and all eventualities. Explained in particular that in the headquarters of the Cult of the Raging Fiend, there's a special type of summoning circle that can be used to call forth devils from the nine hells. So this circle is perhaps more potent, though, is based on how Ladamalu has explained it and how it works, and is able to be used, like I say, to conjure up devils from the nine hells. He explained that if the group was careful and used a combination of magics, they would be able to call forth M to that circle itself, bind him there, and then make an arrangement or a deal to have M cough up Brandel's contract. So with this information in hand, the group exited out of Ladamalu's mansion and headed back to, I want to say we actually ended back at the inn, where the group headed back to once again discuss their plans and what exactly they were going to do next. So that was 2 weeks ago, guys. Recap, hopefully that hit on all the critical points, but if there's anything I missed, feel free to speak up now. Alright, hearing nothing, I'll assume that was suitable for a recap, and we will go ahead and award inspiration to both Brandel and to Lexi for another entry into Brandel's journal. And with that, guys, I will go ahead and take us back to the map of Neverwinter, as I believe that is where we left off. Alright, group, so we are still in Neverwinter. We are still in the Come and Stay Inn, and the group has decided, and I'm throwing this out there loosely because I believe at the end of the last session when we said, make sure you guys have a good plan in mind. Your goal here was to do some last-minute collection of supplies and then teleport back over to Candlekeep and start making your way south to the Village of Basalt.
Right.
Is it evening?
Right now, it would be, let's see, you guys did all this arrangement, come back, so we'll call it mid-afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, looking at my supplies here, need some ointment for my eyes, and just copied these spells down, and require some gems, quite expensive spells here I'm looking at. I need a magic circle, so I need holy water or a powdered star and iron worth at least 100 gold pieces. This is kind of interesting when I copied this to my spell book. And planner binding, a jewel worth 1,000 gold pieces, which it consumes, of course. Leo, you a gemmer?
I'm just looking through my stuff to see if I have something that would suffice.
I have ruby dust, 1,500 gold pieces worth of dust. It's probably not a jewel.
I have a diamond that is worth 5,000 gold, which I managed to split the last one that was worth 5,000 gold. So that would probably do it.
Yes, and probably could use at least 2, I would imagine.
Adam, I have tools with me. I don't know if I need, like, I guess a space, a workshop to do this necessarily, or...
To try to split a diamond down?
Yeah.
I would say as long as you have your tools and enough time, you're probably okay. Being an artificer, I know you can pretty much whip up any kind of tools you need, so I think that'll suffice for this.
Okay. I actually have a full set of tools. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and split those up.
All right, so just as a reminder, you'll recall from last time that even if you do this perfectly, you essentially do lose some value, but the better you do, the more higher percentage of the value you retain.
Right, and I think we kind of like some of that lost value was dust that we were able to reclaim.
You could get some, yes, but it's always you're always losing something. Let's just put it that way.
Sure, that's fine.
All right, so yeah, if you're wanting to split a 5,000 gold piece diamond down, and what is your goal here? Are you trying to do like halves, so 2 2,500s, or what's your plan?
I need for Brandel. I think I need at least 2,000 golders. So if we can do, I guess if I can split them all into 1,000 gold diamonds, that would be
you're trying to get from
ideal.
A 5,000 gold piece diamond. You're trying to get as many 1,000 gold piece diamonds as you can get.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
fair enough. So let's say, give me, I'm going to say a tool check here. I guess just one tool check will be sufficient.
Okay, and he's got expertise on this if that doesn't go through, and of course I'm going to flash of genius this, which is my last one for today.
Okay, so let's see. Looking at your, let me just double check because yeah, unfortunately the tools aren't real built into the blind checks here, but I've got your roll nonetheless. Okay, so let's see. Jeweler's tools.
See you digging around in my character sheet.
I know, that's always fun, right? When the DM starts messing with your sheet. Okay, so expertise in this with the appropriate stat. I would say, yes, you're going to be able to get 4 of these, and I would say you can retain 250 gold pieces in diamond dust along with that.
Awesome. I love it.
Excellent work. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think the last diamond is like finally cut, and Leo just kind of blows off the dust, and he says, "Well, they do say diamonds are forever."
Well, let's hope this will make my soul stay in Faerun, or wherever I choose, forever.
Brandel, if you do go to hell, we might be able to summon you back, with the summon fiend thing, the spell, and bind you to our service. So there's another way to work around this. We'll be fine.
That's true.
I gotta say, Demon Brandel sounds cool.
We'd be matchy-matchy.
Yeah.
Well, they'd probably turn him into something much lesser first, right?
If I remember, if you're really powerful, of course, since I am, you can come back and be at elevated status, I believe.
I could take care of another homunculus. I'm an expert.
Booger 2.0 is Brandel Crane.
Oh boy. Okay. We got those. We got the gems all taken care of.
Should I hold on to one or two?
I think why don't you just take 2 of these? I'll keep the other 2 in case something happens, and then Renvon, I can't really use this diamond dust, so why don't you take it? I know you already have a good amount, but the more the merrier.
Okay, sure.
How can Ranvan make holy water? Oh, actually, the components say holy water or a powdered silver and iron worth 100 gold pieces. So, I don't need a really material. I just need holy water, right, Adam?
If it says holy water worth X amount, I'm sure you could purchase that here in Neverwinter.
Holy water worth 100 gold is like a 5-gallon jug.
Yeah, it says holy water or powdered silver and iron worth 100 gold pieces. It's weird. That's DM interpretation there, I think.
Which spell is that for?
Magic circle.
Well, Del can make holy water.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and so can Ranvan, I think, right?
But if the spell it doesn't actually need holy water, it just needs water with metal in it.
It just says, it says holy water or...
So, to create holy water, I would need 25 GP worth of powdered silver, which is consumed per single holy water.
So,
Since the
as
spell
far
doesn't
as
require holy water specifically, it just needs meddled water.
So as far as I'm seeing here, and I again just trying to interpret this through the logical lens, I think what they're trying to say here is holy water or powdered silver iron, either of which must be worth at least 100 gold pieces. Because if it was trying to give you a discount for using holy water, I think they would have worded it differently.
So it'd be like 4 vials of holy water combined, right?
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
How much is holy water? I thought holy water was like 5 gold pieces. Right?
I got like a Gatorade jug, and I'm just making a circle by pressing the
You got
It's
a
gotta
bucket
cost
with
at
a
least
cup.
25 gold, because it costs that much to make it.
I guess that's
Yeah,
fair.
I don't think it's cheap.
I'm
It's
looking
probably-
it up now, but yeah, 25 was sticking in my head for some reason.
All right, so I need 4 whatever amounts of holy water, which we can make. You can make, Del.
I have a water skin of one.
Yeah, a flask of holy water weighs 1 pound and costs 25 gold pieces.
Okay, 4 flasks of holy water. Sweet.
Okay.
So
Del
yeah,
will
get
pay
eight.
for it.
the spell that lets you make holy water, essentially what that does is it lets you make it on demand wherever you are. So if you need holy water in a snap, yeah, you're paying the same cost, but you can make it on the run.
So I'll just buy some, right?
Because making it takes spell slots too.
I mean, yeah, it takes spell slots, but it's up to you. Like, I can prepare it. I just need, like, we wake up,
No.
I prepare it, and I can do it.
Let's
Let
go
me-
get 8 jugs and
Yeah.
have it, and then if we need some emergency holy water later, we can have one of our friends do it too.
Emergency holy water.
All right, so we're just
Yeah.
gonna buy it, Adam. So we'll buy $200 worth 8 flasks of holy water if we can.
Yeah, you can certainly find plenty of stuff here in Neverwinter, and that's no problem.
Okay, so could I just do 100 gold pieces worth of powdered silver then?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm having 4 holy waters and 2 diamonds. So that may help with the circle and planner if I need to use it.
Brendel, were we going to buy any more spell scrolls for you? Planar ally?
Yeah, well, planner ally, that I have an eye on that one, but that's level 6, and I almost took it a couple months ago. Yeah, I was thinking of Zariel, but that's a. But if I'm reading it right, what do you think, guys? Did Ladalamiel seem to indicate that we won't need something like that? Like the magic circle itself will summon the creature? We just need to gain access to it and learn how to use it, and then I can invert the magic circle and then find some way to keep him there for an hour while I try to bind him to my service.
If I think that's what I understood. And if you invert the circle and we get him in there, he'll be stuck until someone dispels it, which could be for a very long time, depending. That honestly might be one of the ways we get him to agree to letting you go, is we just say we're going to bury the whole place and he'll never get out.
Well, actually, if I bind him, it literally says in my... Come here, look over here, Leo, over my shoulder. See, it says that it does whatever I ask it to do. So, get rid of my contract.
It's difficult sometimes to get that to work, so just be aware.
Oh, well, that's why we need Frederick, you see. Where's he at?
Well, Frederick did say that he's going to meet you all back at Candlekeep. I think I'm probably going to stay here. Lots of people to rob. Maybe some contacts to make.
Well,
Right.
You've certainly proven yourself as a good friend. Thank you for everything you've done. We're not leaving now, but it's sad to see you go.
Oh, well. Frederick saved my life. He asked me to keep an eye on you. You guys seem well put together. I know I'm a bit of a ragamuffin. My bad on any social inadequacies. But yeah, I mean, Fred's got he's got a way with words, and if you need someone to talk to a demon, I think you probably should let that guy have a crack at it.
Out of character, I can't think of anyone I'd rather have trying to talk a devil out of a soul than Dylan / Frederick.
Amen.
Yep.
That's a big task. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Don't fuck it up. Okay, go.
Putting the salesman up against the infernal lawyer. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
If it won't take too long, can we inquire and see if a planar ally scroll is around and how much it would cost, Adam? Unless it's going to be a task to find such a scroll.
I mean, it's not necessarily going to be super easy, but what I would say is whoever wants to lead this effort, go ahead and throw me a blind persuasion check representing your effort speaking around Neverwinter and trying to track such a thing down.
Leo? Well, there we go.
Not me.
Yep.
Del can.
I always forget Dell's got the high charisma.
Okay, yeah, Del, you eventually do find, after speaking with several people here in Neverwinter, you are directed over to the location nearby Moscato's Maps and Legends about a small, what the person calls a bookbinder with a wink.
Do you have to do that every time when you say bookbinder? You wink?
He nods.
Yeah, I guess we'll go in there and inquire within.
All right, so you guys head to this store nearby Moscato's Maps and Legends, and sure enough, you find this small bookshop. As you get close by, you can see there's a lot of plants right in the front of the store itself. These kind of fronds that hang over. Occasionally, you're having to push them out of your way. It's got very much a sort of a natural type of smell. There's also a pretty strong glue smell, though. As you can see, there's a lot of different glue pots around and books, and looks like this, lives up to the sign on the door. You notice that there is a man sitting behind the counter, and he kind of cocks his head, looking up towards you, and says, "Okay, what is it that you need?"
Yes, looking for a particular scroll. It's quite significant in nature. I think it's called Planner Ally. Yeah, have you heard of it? Do you have one available?
You see he kind of looks towards you. You see he actually takes a pair of spectacles off of the counter, puts them on his face in order to pull them off, and then look at you very intently. "Do you know how much something like that costs? I suppose you have the funds?"
Oh, we have quite a bit of credit in banks. Yes, I'm quite sure that we could drum it up.
I see. Well, let me see what I have. And you can see he starts like taking his finger and tracing it down through some different ledgers. Okay, well, this being a 6th level spell is considered to be very rare. So, Brandel, go ahead and roll me a d4, please. You notice he looks up towards you and kind of looks back and says, you are in luck. I think I can sell you one of these, but as I said, the price is quite astronomical. I would need 10,000 gold pieces.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe I misspoke. Not all of them. Just one.
Yes, as I said, quite expensive.
If I'm reading this correctly, we have 12,865 in the bank, and Dell and Frederick separately also have 6,000.
If I can float a quick DM note here, unless you have some ability I'm not aware of, Brandel, Planner Ally is a cleric spell?
Oh, shoot.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
You know
Fred's
what?
a cleric. Well, kind of. He's kind of a cleric.
Well, Ranvon's a cleric. He prays all the time to Torm. He like talks
That's
to him,
true.
communes to him.
That's true. Look
Ranvon's
at
like
that
almost a
goofy helmet.
god.
And I mean, the scroll obviously would make it easier for him to cast, but you can prepare that every day too, So I guess as we all realize this, maybe Leo looks at Brandel and kind of shakes his head, and we just all start slowly inching out. So it's sorry, thank you. We appreciate the offer.
And he gives you the very typical, yes, as he returns his attentions back to his books.
So, Ranvon can cast it, though, right? Ranvon, are you okay? You seem unwell. Are you feeling tired today?
No, I'm fine. Let me. I know that one. It's expensive.
Oh, well, can you just prepare spells just on the list? I mean, I'm bound to this silly book.
I mean, I could do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Man, that's really funny. I had thought the whole time it was a wizard spell. Well, we just wasted 10 minutes of our life.
Well, remember, there's a few spells that are very similarly named. So there's Planner Binding, but Planner Ally is cleric only.
Well, hey, that's a good backup. If you prepare it, I mean, it's really powerful. We could just bring M right in front of us. We just have to subdue him. Potentially, that is.
Oh, I don't know if Planar Ally could bring M to us. Planar Ally would be more like beseeching someone to send aid to us.
I thought it said that,
I think you could cast it on a fiend if you wanted.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you could beseech a fiend to send something.
I could ask for M, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what we'll get.
Yeah, no. I've been studying so many spells today, I think I did get a little confused.
Well, we'll I guess play that one by ear. All right, I don't think there's anything else we need to buy here. Is that right?
I need my ointments if I can, Adam. Can I buy, I don't know.
If those are just spell component costs, absolutely
Yeah.
can find those here as well.
All right, cool. I'm going to do that. So I'll buy 2.
So whatever you're deducting from your gold, feel free to put
Yep.
in that component amount on your sheet.
Roger that.
All right, and then as I promised, I was trying to get us into the action a little bit quicker. So again, I want you guys to be prepared. I certainly don't want to rush you into a very dangerous situation, but is there anything else you'd like to do here in Neverwinter before? I believe your plan is to then teleport back over to Candlekeep.
I think we are done getting our shit.
All right.
I think we're done.
All right, hearing no complaints, then we will assume you guys have wrapped up your business here in Neverwinter. Said your farewells to Cedric as he goes to quote unquote rob some people, and then you guys teleport back over to Candlekeep, where this side of the campaign originally began. So yes, you guys find yourself teleporting outside of Candlekeep as you've done a couple of times now. All right, and as before, you guys certainly have a collection of tomes that you still have from the monks, and Brandel's able to get in without needing to submit a book, being that he works here. So you guys are able to make your way back to Candlekeep, and I imagine without too much effort, where would you imagine Frederick would be at this point?
No, he should be at the bar. He's a tavern owner now, right?
Not in Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Dell will send a message to Frederick and be like, we're at Candlekeep. Have you arrived yet, and where are you? Send a sending spell.
Yes. Delzaris, you sound as creepy as ever. I'm at the bar.
All right, which you guys would take to know to mean the hearth, as that is the local academic watering hole where the people gather to get some beverages as they discuss various arcane and other theories.
I'll open the door, and hopefully I see that ogre friend of mine who's being a nerd. I give him a slap on the back on my way in. How's it going there, bud?
Unfortunately, you do not see Little One as you step into the hearth, but it is otherwise much as you left it. A very quiet place. You can see a lot of folks talking in the corners, and every now and again you can hear a hush sound as somebody gets just slightly too loud, and by slightly I mean just a little bit above a whisper.
Yeah, that's appropriate. There he is. He's at the bar. Hey. I walk up. Frederick, my good friend.
Oh, hey, Brando. It's very good to see you.
How have you been? You look great.
Just been busy, you know. Owning your own tavern is never an easy thing to do. They make it sound like it's easy, but it's not.
Well, it's easy to occupy it and enjoy its comforts, that's for sure. Please, can we have some drinks here, please, and some brie and some toasts? Thank you very much.
Frederick, we missed you!
Oh.
Cedric was cool, man, but, like, he was just kind of like a shadow of you.
Yeah. Cedric, he's a character. He's, I hope you guys kind of put him on a better path, I guess you could say.
I don't know if we quite influenced him that much, but he was very helpful, so thank you for sending him along.
I think Rainbond tried his hardest.
He might be a little bit, better, but he did say he was going to rob people after we left, so who knows?
That was a little disheartening, yeah. It seemed like maybe we would end on a very good note, and then right back to where he was.
Well, at least he can't change his form, so it'll be easy for him to get caught.
Yeah, about that.
So as we're sitting there talking, Leo starts collecting like the pepper shakers and like all of the stuff that's on the table, the condiments that they leave out, and he's like arranging them all and like making a crappy map of Faerun, and he starts pointing out the locations and explaining to Frederick kind of like what we all just did and where we're going and what we're doing. And he says, and so basically there's a cult there that we're going to find, and then we're going to convince M to release Brandel's soul, and we need your help to do it.
Yeah. I'd rather be nowhere else. I missed you guys.
Oh, missed you terribly.
Missed you.
So tell me, how many times did you tell the story of Leo's conjuration gem? Seriously, how many times?
Well, we have artists instilling a mantelpiece to capture the moment.
Oh, that's good. Well, I would love to see your place, and we're kind of on track with something very exciting, as Leo has explained. But when we're done, I'd very much like to see what you've done in El Terrell. I'm sure it's marvelous.
Yeah, yeah. Before we leave, I need to see if maybe I could purchase some materials for maybe doing the teleportation circle. That way we can go right there.
I think they have some stuff here that you can probably purchase for that.
But enough about me, guys. We probably got our hands full. What's the plan? What are you thinking?
Well, here's what we learned, and then I tell him everything we learned.
Got it. All right. So, M's a bastard. We should have killed him back in Baldur's Gate. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said bastard.
I forgive you. Really, I don't know if we were strong enough at the time, but we'll give it our best shot now. My only real concern with the plan we have at the minute is some kind of backup. Is there anyone we can call on to assist us in if things go south?
I mean, I have a few guild members. We've got 4 now. I mean, Older Raven Guard is probably a safe bet. We saved him once. What else? Anybody else come to mind?
Well, that feather is flown away, sadly.
I wonder if it's worth sending a message to Tristram. I don't know if this is anything in his bailiwick or if he cares, but he seemed strong, so he might be a valuable ally if we convince him.
Well, speaking of allies, I mean, potentially, Ranvon here can recruit an ally, and maybe in the crucial time when I'm trying to hold M in his spot as I try to bind him to this earth. That would be a very useful application of planner ally.
We could do that, yeah. I'll get the spell prepared.
I have a feeling it's aside from the planar ally, I don't think we'll be able to call on too many other people, so it's just going to probably be us. I've been trying to rack my brain about a way that we can really threaten M, aside from leaving him there forever. I'm not sure what other leverage we have against him.
No, you see, I'm sorry. Plan A would just be to ask him, tell him, command him if he's under my binding. If it doesn't work, then we have to find some way to coerce him, and that's where I think your particular talents would be quite useful.
If we were to trade, we don't have a fire or the shield that he grabbed that last time. What would we trade? Sorry, I already got rid of that, the scrying orb. Think I have anything else that's really super valuable.
The only thing that really comes to mind at M would probably categorize as valuable would be a replacement soul.
Mm-hmm.
Or his own life.
Yes, Ludalamu said that there's a chance if M is killed in Faerun on the earth of this plane, he doesn't really die, you see. But if we could bring some of it with him, and we kill him like on the ground of Avernus, he will die outright. He might know that, and we could have leverage. However, the more I thought about it, it seemed quite impossible. I guess the best I could do is wish for it, and that's way beyond my capabilities.
What
You
if
know, here's another.
Go ahead, Leo.
I was just gonna say, if the portal, not that we really want to go back to hell, but if the portal goes both ways, maybe we can go down to him and fight him there.
I was thinking the same. I mean, it's not like any of us want to willingly into hell again, but if we teleported to the Wandering Emporium and trapped him on his own turf, his life threatened, maybe we could get him to do what we wanted.
We need a way to get back, probably.
And also, he would be probably have many allies around.
Yeah, I think that would be difficult at best to get that to work. But I suppose just keep it in the back of our heads as a possibility.
All right, as you guys are enjoying some of your food and beverages here and discussing your plan, you notice that the door to the hearth opens and in walks a familiar figure.
Sylvanas. Yes!
The tiefling Sylvira enters and notices you. You see she turns and gives you kind of a side-eyed glance, raising one of her eyebrows before she approaches, dressed in this very elaborate witch, like sort of like mage's attire. You could think of it as these very well-tied robes at the waist with some gold jewelry actually filigreed into her horns. You see she approaches and she looks down and says, My, it's good to see all of you once again. I don't think I've seen all of you together in quite some time.
I sit up and make a obnoxious noise on my chair as I stand up and say, My lady, it's so good to see you.
Is it now? Well, I must say I'm quite pleased to see that you have all survived your many, many endeavors.
Yes, well, your lead was quite impressive. We've met Ladonamule, and he's given us some advice, and we're just discussing it now, actually.
Is that so? Would you mind if I, what is the old expression, dropped eaves?
You can drop as many eaves as you want, my lady. One more order of fish in orange, please.
And you notice she sort of stands nearby without actually taking a seat as she looks at you all and says, Well, let us get right down to brass tacks then. Fill me in on what it is that has been occurring here. And you can feel free to just say you fill her in here if you like.
Leo fills her in.
So I want to fill her in, but I also want to ask her if she's heard of Ladarin. Because that young lad said something that he knew people out here in Candlekeep as well.
You see she looks towards you and she nods slowly and she says, in fact, I've heard of him. I can't say that I would necessarily attach the exact name to him, but based on this description and so forth that you've explained, that does sound familiar. I didn't realize that he was quite that old. I knew there was something more to him than just being a child, but yes, he is somewhat of a known figure here, though only by those of us who have been here for quite some time.
So, if we haven't, I don't want to assume, but I want to share both plots. So, the one with the Cult of the Raging Fiend and the Sylvanas twist.
Okay, and as you do so, you see she will nod, she'll look at you and she'll say, I never really imagined you filling the role of Chosen of Sylvanas. If I can just be very honest and pragmatic here, it does not seem like something that would suit you so well, and you've never been in service to Sylvanas before, so why would you want to start now?
Well, it's very curious indeed. It stumped me for quite a long time. Obviously, the first thing is to try to deal with this M character, the Wandering Emporium, and try to just get my contract back. And after that, I may die in whatever way I see fit, or, as Ranvan so eloquently put it, I get another chance at doing good in Faerun rather than being cloistered up my whole life. This seems very exciting to me.
Well, I suppose so, but at the same time, you may find service to a deity is in many ways similar to having your soul on contract. Your decisions are not truly your own. You must do what it is that you are asked to do. It's just another form of service. I always took you for more of an independent thinker and somebody who did what it is they thought made the most sense and didn't allow dogmatic approaches and rules to hold them back.
Oh, once again, my lady, your astuteness and profound insight has embarrassed me. You've hit it spot on. It is still a quandary that I'm struggling with within my intellect and my soul, and I will weigh your opinions quite heavily. I really appreciate your candidacy. What?
Candor.
Candor. Yes, thank you.
You notice she nods and with a slight smile to her face, and she says, "But that is not the only thing. This other line of thread that you're pulling on here, it is true that bringing up a part of another plane is power beyond what most would hope to ever be able to wield. But you should have spoke with me about this. As you know, I am the foremost expert on the Nine Hells. Perhaps not as well knowledgeable as Ladamalu and some of the more esoteric pieces of it. He's got quite a few years on me. But in this case, when it comes to summoning things, there is a way. It doesn't exactly bring Avernus here, but if you are able to slay a very powerful devilish creature, and you're able to extract some of its blood before it is actually slain, and use that in a summoning circle, that should suffice for having the same type of effect.
Okay, so you're saying big strong demon, we get a good vial of blood, kill it, use the devil. Sorry, God, still. My bad. Alright. Big strong devil, get blood, make summoning circle, and we should be able to use it that way.
Big strong devil, fight it and so that you are able to draw its blood, a good quantity of it. The entire summoning circle should be covered in it. Then dispatch the devil where it will vanish back down to the Nine Hells. Then you use the conjuration magic with that pool of devilish blood, and that should work to bind the individual to the same rules as though if it had perished in the Nine Hells itself.
What type of devil would you recommend for the maximum amount of bloodage?
Well, the challenge is if you are summoning a powerful opponent, something like, say, this M character, you're going to need some very powerful devil to subsist on. I would imagine you would probably need something. Oh, well, what would certainly do would be a pit fiend. In fact, that's what I would probably recommend.
So that would work against the Rakshasa?
If you were to summon a pit fiend and do the operation as I have explained, then the blood of the pit fiend should be enough to bind a Rakshasa, yes.
So Brandel's excited and he pulls his book out. Summoned pit fiend. He studies it. I don't know if I have knowledge of that.
I think we'd have to use it at the thing that we were going to use to summon M in the first place, over in the cults.
I see. Yeah, we use the circle there. Summon the fiend, slay it, spray it with blood, and then summon again.
A double summon, if you will.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Hey, Leo, how do we extract blood? Could you create a blood extracting device or something, or tubes?
I think the best method might be just slicing it with swords and knives a lot.
Oh, yeah. Just cut his head off and let it drip around or what?
Something like that.
Fiends, they're not easy to just decapitate, though. Quite strong creatures.
Not to mention that if you were to decapitate a pit fiend, reminder, that would kill it, which means it would disappear back to the Nine Hells.
Exactly.
You must deal enough damage to drain it of its blood while it is still here.
Exactly. Because any creature from a different plane, if you kill it here, it just goes back.
Would so we harm it very badly. Do we then have to capture it somewhere else and hold on to it here in this plane, or after we've coated the floor with its blood, then we can send it back?
Once enough blood is obtained, you could dispatch the creature or dismiss it, whatever you have the capability to do. The blood will remain for, some period of time. It will not vanish back to the nine hells, but it'll dry up just like any other blood over time.
Right.
Now, let's say, is this a spell that we would... What if I went to the woods, just called upon a pit fiend? Is that possible? I don't know if there's an arcane ability for that. And then we killed it, and we took its blood and put it in a bottle, or a bunch of bottles, or keg. And then we went to the circle.
It's possible, but with the abilities that you have at your own disposal, I think your original plan of using that same summoning circle might be best. That way you have less risk of losing the blood, and I imagine if this circle is dedicated to the conjuring of devils, it will be more easy to be able to do so.
Indeed. So are you familiar with these? The sigils and how it works?
Not this one specifically, but summoning circles, yes, I am quite familiar with. Frequently, they are attuned to a specific plane. It sounds like this one that you are referencing is attuned to the nine hells. It may be to a specific layer of hell, or it might be to the nine hells more generally. But either way, it should certainly give you an edge in calling forth any devilish creatures.
And do you expect there's an SOP or a manual attached to the circle that I may be able to study and how to operate it safely?
I'm certain there will not be, but you have a couple of options there. If you're going to a cultist's place, perhaps you can capture one of these individuals, somebody knowledgeable about its operation, and extract the information before dispatching of them at your leisure. Course, if that's not an option, you could always use divination magic to learn the specifics of the circle.
Yes, of course. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so then I don't imagine that you or someone you know would be interested in helping us do this.
You notice she sort of smiles slightly and she says, "To be quite honest, you're going into a very, very dangerous circumstance. I'm not so much the adventuring type, at least not these days, and the only way I would be tempted to do something like this is with some kind of massive offer. This would be putting my own life at risk, and in general, I don't like to take those kind of risks anymore."
All right, that's fair. What about, do you have any recommendations for where we could do this?
Where you could do what exactly?
I mean, I don't imagine that they'll enjoy it too much if we do it right out in the court of air. So we're planning to go outside the city, but if there's like a nice spot to actually hold the ritual.
Oh, I see. Well, I would suggest rather than attempting to do that is use the circle that is already in existence and the headquarters that you have mentioned below this church in the village of Basalt. If this circle that is there, as you guys have described, is truly attuned to the nine hells, it will act as an amplifier upon any conjuration magic, making your efforts to call forth both a pit fiend and then later, should you be successful there, M himself, much easier.
Everything is at the circle. That's where we have to do all of this.
Did you guys find out whether or not anybody lives in the church? If it's just abandoned, or are they there?
I think they're there. The cult. I think they occupy it.
Well. So we'll have to clear out the cult, because I doubt they'll willingly let us use their circle to summon a pit fiend and then bind a Rakshasa.
Well, and keep one of the teleportation circle operators alive enough to learn of it, or I use my divination abilities. But either way, we're off to the village of Basalt, it seems. So that is, my lady, what do you know about the village of Basalt? I mean, I guess I could spend an hour or two in the annals, but maybe you can give me a Cliff Notes version.
I'm afraid I'm not quite familiar with it. I only know the briefest of information. I seem to recall it's on the other side of the mountain pass. I don't really. I think if I wasn't there was something about how it was founded by outcasts from another area, but I must confess I don't really recall much about it.
I see, and according to the map, and I'll pull it out on the table, it's 12 days journey. Do you know of a circle nearer or nearby that my friend Frederick here could use?
A teleportation circle. Well, that area is quite rural. I don't imagine that there is a maintained teleportation circle any closer than Candlekeep. Perhaps if you had somehow access to the country of then maybe there would be something closer, but unfortunately I'm not familiar with such a circle.
I'm not looking forward to 12 days on the road.
Well, there's always other magical options.
Oh, yes, of course. What are you thinking? Because I want to see if you're thinking what I'm thinking.
You know, she looks at you with sort of this like knowing grin. Well, there's of course different types of magic that allows you to move very quickly. Perhaps something that would allow you to walk through the air very lightly and make great distance. There's the ability to conjure up flying phantom steeds. There's many different types of things.
Hey,
no, you told me about that one, the walk on air one. You said that, what was it? That big, the ogre guy in hell that was in prison. That's how he ran away from you guys. Remember?
Who remembers the chained archfiend down in the big pit of demonic acid?
I mean, I
It's
remember his
Chi-Chi.
name. Yeah, it's
There you go.
Chi-Chi for short.
I think Frederick was dead at the moment, though, so that's what I was trying to RP there.
That was the tiki bar.
Kastichi bar.
Barkeep, I'll have a Mai Tai.
Well, I'm afraid I've pointed my arcane abilities in different directions than that.
I'm sure we could buy the spell. Or do you know anyone that can cast it? I mean, there's a group of quite a few of us.
Well, this is, of course, a location known for many sages and many wizards. I'm sure if we were to put the word out, we could find something, but in general, everybody here is pragmatically minded and will want some kind of payment for such assistance.
Well, it'd be worth it, for sure. A safe passage, walking on air.
Why don't we put out the feelers with the usual suspects and see if someone has one, and then we can grab it, cast it, and get the hell out of here.
So you are ready to go now, then?
Well, maybe in the morning.
It's
Yeah.
morning.
Morning. Oh, that will certainly be easier to arrange. Yes, let me see what I can find out for you.
Thank you, Silvera. We appreciate it very much.
And she nods and she says, I expect this will be the last time we speak for quite some time, assuming, that is, that you are successful. For if you fail, I'm afraid we probably will not be speaking again. But I will wish you the most success, and I will be hoping that things work out for you. And you see she gives again a very slight smile as she nods and turns to exit the inn here.
Oh, my lady, one more thing. Sorry to trouble you. What do you know of the cult of the Raging Fiend? Is there anything that you might bestow upon us that would give us a benefit?
To be honest, I was under the impression that they had been defeated back in Neverwinter. I'd always heard tale that remnants and things had perhaps gone elsewhere, but this revelation that you've revealed to me of them reforming in this village of Basalt is new information to me, so I'm afraid I don't have anything specific to tell you. Perhaps maybe just a bit of intuition if this is of any assistance, but the fact that they selected this village of Basalt in this rural area tells me that their influence is far dramatically less than what it used to be. Imagine going from the thick of Neverwinter, where you had so many people of all different power around you, so much money, luxury, that sort of thing, and defeated there and having to retreat somewhere at the other side of the world. There's nothing really right in that area. So I imagine these folks are much less powerful than they used to be. But as they say, cornered dogs sometimes are the most dangerous.
Well, indeed. Obviously, my first intent is that we deal with M and liberate my contract. But secondly, I will keep detailed notes and hopefully publish our experience for the endowment into the great libraries here in Candlekeep.
And you see she smiles and nods and says, I'm looking forward to reading that.
And I'll bow.
And with that, she will finally exit the hearth.
So, I think we've essentially got a plan. Silveris is going to look for a scroll for us, or at least put out the feelers, and then I think we bought most of our supplies in Neverwinter.
Well,
I need to go and gather some teleportation circles materials.
yes, and Leo, you need to come up with some type of device, start tinkering, to how we would extract just enough blood from a summoned pit fiend to cover a circle and not kill the fiend.
Adam, can I cook up a juicer? A medieval juicer.
Like grind the hand, like just chop his arm off and like grind it into like a smoothie.
So what I will say is throw me a Arcana check here to represent your knowledge of the enemy you face and what might be the most effective way of trying to extract that kind of information.
Oh shit! Hold on. I did it the old-fashioned way.
That's all right. So I got your blind check here. Let's see. So I would say you would expect that your original thought that the most effective way of doing this would be slashing or stabbing, so essentially slashing or piercing damage, would be your best odds of producing blood from a creature. And you imagine that either magical or silver weapons of slashing or piercing would be the most effective of doing so. You're thinking you're going to have to deal a significant amount of damage to the creature in slashing or piercing damage in order to produce the most blood.
So
can we attack with just intent to knock out though, and then fast forward over it, because I don't want to have that scene, but where we just kind of bleed it out while it's unconscious?
It's a good thought, but a better question is, do fiends get knocked unconscious?
Brando, do fiends get knocked unconscious?
Brando, you don't think so?
So
okay, so I was thinking, here's my thought. Since we need to do the maximum amount of slashing and piercing damage, actually all of our spellcasters then are going to have to switch over to something that's more supporting or depressing on the pit fiend, and basically as much as we can, we need to rely on physical weapons or spells that deal physical damage.
Well,
Renvon, I'm thinking of this one spell called the Blade Barrier. Does that ring any bells?
Maybe.
feel like that's something that maybe you might have knowledge of. Think about it.
Well, we have a staff of striking and a sunblade.
Ooh, I don't think either of those are going to do very well against. In terms of bleeding, what I could do for you though, Del, is Leopold, I believe, have, yes, an enhanced weapon. So Leo says, well, what I could do is get you a regular sword, but then enchant it so that it's actually a +2 weapon, and you could use that. And Ranvan, we switch you out to something that's also pointy, and have you use that instead of your Ranvan is a warhammer, right? Or a mace.
Yeah, I have a mace usually, but I rarely swing the thing. You see it on his hip; it looks kind of pristine, like it keeps it well maintained. It doesn't have to swing it that often.
Well, you might have to on this one, just because I don't think, except for what I just said about spells that deal, physical damage. I don't think we want you doing any of your regular. We're all going to be out of our comfort zone here. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Okay. Well, and if we just keep hacking it, won't blood splatter all over the room rather than exactly over the circle that we need it to adhere to?
I think it probably would be better if we kept it as close as we can to the circle. Maybe after we kill it, also, we can get a mop and bucket and, clean up around it and then pour the bucket out on the circle. Someone remind me to pick up a mop and bucket before we leave here.
So I'm thinking, what is banishment? Is that just a wizard spell? Looking it up.
I think bards, clerics. I think a lot of folks can use that one.
Yeah. Okay. So cleric, sorcerer. So there's four of our classes can use it. We could summon it, banish it. That gives me a minute to magic circle it. When it appears back in the place that it was banished, I could circle it so it can't move out of it, and I think we could still attack it.
Magic circle take 10 minutes or a minute?
1 minute.
It won't work because if you concentrate on it for an entire minute, it will.
It's not concentration.
If he's banished, yes, if he's banished for more than a minute, he'll just return back to hell.
Oh, because banishment is a concentration.
That's one of those ones where if they aren't from here anyway, when they get banished, sometimes they don't come back anyway.
Yeah, you're right. That's why it's there. I think that's probably why it's there. It's been play tested for decades.
If one way it could work is if we delayed it a little bit, so you start casting, and then the next 6 seconds or so, someone else banishes it, and then, before it's fully gone, we drop concentration on that banishment, and then it pops back in, and essentially the circle's done.
Ranvan could banish it. I could do the circle, and you can drop it. Now, it might have 6 seconds in game reality, in turn order, that it might have a turn to do something, it might not.
I think. Well, can Leo make a check to see what he knows about pit fiends? Because Matt knows that they are bad mofos, but I don't know how much Leo knows.
That's essentially what I just gave you with the Arcana check, and focusing that on resistances. So that's why I said you would know that magic weapons or silver weapons are most effective.
All right. Well, Leo's going to throw in then. Well, the other thing too is that's everything going perfectly. The pit fiends in general are, well, they're really far up there, and they're very, very hard to kill. So us trying to get it all to work perfectly very much might not happen. In fact, I think we should count on it not happening. If it does happen, great, but I don't. I have a feeling it will not do what we want it to do.
I have a question. Is there any stuff that we have, Cedric and I got these things when we were out looking to score some skooma, and maybe they could help. I've got the Shadowfell Sage, which she told us that it could, if you chewed it, it'll put the user to sleep for 8 hours, during which they'd appear dead to anybody that fails a DC 16 medicine check. And then Cedric left this, I can't even pronounce it, this sap, this Yggdrasil sap.
Perfect.
And I don't even know what that does. Does anybody know?
You're saying Cedric gave you drugs? Sounds on par.
Yeah, he's like my best friend, man.
Part of me now wants also for Lexi to take the love potion and like to transform into her demon self and seduce the pit fiend, but
that could work.
yeah.
And I'd get a strength bonus too.
Brandel's shaking his head like, devils. Devils are in Avernus. Demons are from the abyss.
Yeah. All right.
Semantics.
I know. I should be more clear about this. All right.
Well, I
That's
do have, you guys remember my hand, right? Bigby's hand? I could grapple him, hold him, slash, stabby, stab, sprinkle all over the circle. You know.
I think that's I think that's the way to go. Anything that would possibly restrain him or hold him in place for the rest of the melee oriented folks to do their work.
And maybe Ranvan could bane him or bestow a curse upon him. I don't know if he has resistances to those things.
Probably just be better to bless more people in the group. But if I was going to do that blade barrier that Leopold mentioned, that's going to be holding all my concentration already.
That one, I've heard of it before, and I guess if anything sounded like it might juice a devil, that would be it.
I think it would work, but it's kind of it's not entirely my style. But if it's what we need to do, then we'll do it.
It doesn't fit Ranban's aesthetics.
I also have protection from evil and good.
I do as well, and I can twin it.
I think those would all be good things, especially for the people that are going to be close up. Is protection concentration?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to be wise about it for sure.
I guess.
I think you're right on par, though, as long as we're keeping them subdued and over top.
So, for this pit devil, once we defeat it and we get what we need, are we waiting a day to summon him? Or are we doing it back to back?
I think we'll have to do it back to back because that blood will dry out.
So we have to be careful.
If we do everything right, there's a good chance we won't have to fight M afterwards. Or at least if we do, we can, do it from afar because the circle might be fully set up, or we can do something with that. I don't know. If anything, I feel like M won't be quite as dangerous. If anything, we don't have to be careful about killing M if we have to really fight him. It's just the pit fiend we have to do it a specific way, which is going to be hard. But M, we could no holds barred.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I don't think M is the one who signed my contract. He might be just the person who keeps record of it, and he would be able to get rid of it.
I think he's got some decent amount of leeway and should be able to leverage it off you.
Yeah,
most likely.
I don't know necessarily killing him would absolve me from it. Is to the point.
But
I
a
just don't.
threat of death will do a lot.
Yes, exactly.
I had another thought while I was walking across the courtyard. If we held M and trapped him, he doesn't carry the contracts around with him. So where is the actual contract? Maybe we don't need him to give it over. We just destroy it.
I think these things are just magically produced
From where, though?
from his filing cabinet somewhere at the Emporium. He just materialized it in his hand, I would imagine. No?
So we find the filing cabinet.
At the Wandering Emporium in Avernus. That is a non-starter.
I would say in general on this issue, you guys, your initial assumption here is accurate, Brandel, where while the contracts might be displayed to potential signers as a physical thing, they're not actually a physical thing. There's not really a file cabinet somewhere in hell that has everybody's hellish contracts. It's more or less a state of being that when your soul is bound, this is more of an ephemeral type of thing that can be metaphorically produced and destroyed, in which case the connection is severed, but you wouldn't just be able to find it. It's, again, you're not going to find a file cabinet or a box somewhere that contains all these hellish contracts.
If it were, we wouldn't want you. We'd want Cedric.
But what if
He's a great thief.
what if we rolled a nat 20 though when we were looking for the filing cabinet? Sorry.
I would
That's
have
a
told
good
you the
thought.
same information, but I'd have been much more dramatic as I explained it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, it looks like we have our plan then. I mean, as much as we try to sugarcoat it, we know what we have to do. Make it bleed over the circle.
Yep.
Leo's going to go run over to the blacksmith.
Okay.
And he's gonna actually, before he runs over there, he's gonna look at Dodd. He says, "Do you prefer long swords, scimitars?"
Yeah, either like probably a longsword.
Be right back. And he's gonna go buy a longsword, and he'll. I guess he has to do it in the morning tomorrow, but he'll enchant it, so it's a +2 longsword.
All right, fair enough. You notice that the Azure blacksmith is no longer here, seemingly having moved on, but there is another traveling smith here that looks to deal in more common wares. As you enter and kind of start like moving at some of your stuff, and he notices and realizes that you share this shop and you're more of like a permanent kind of shop owner here, where he's more or less a guest. He just kind of quickly, you get the impression of almost like talking shop. He shows you a few things real quick as you're kind of in the midst of picking up a long sword. Probably the only thing really here of interest that you haven't seen a million times is something this guy's calling a cat o' nine blades. And if you're familiar with what a cat o' nine tails is, it's like that, except blades instead of thorns.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes, give me that. I'll buy it.
He will sell you this prototype for 15 gold pieces.
Sold.
Keeping in mind, though, it's not silver.
That's.
Hey, Leo,
Yes.
you remember the karate guy? Gosh, what was his name? Bok Choi? No, that's the lettuce.
Bak Mai.
Fuck my.
Bok Mai. He had that chain whip. I still got it in my bag. I don't know if it's silver or not. You combine the two, that'd be pretty cool.
Yes, actually. Okay, sorry, that was 15?
Yes.
And then, what's a longsword? 5 or 10? I'm looking. Handbook.
Longsword is 15.
15. Okay, so 215, so 30.
Remember, with time and effort and appropriate tools, you can silver any metal type of weapon.
That's what I was just about to ask. If I had enough time left in the day to mess around with that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, again, we might go into more details of this, but you're level 13, so I'm going to say sure, you can. 100 gold pieces to silver something.
Deal. Yeah, let's see here. Take that out. The whip, is that like a whip on the
So the Cat O' blades mechanically works the same as a whip. Yes.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
That's cool. I got you. I followed you.
As I'm looking at it, I just can imagine us trying to kill a pit fiend with a 1d4 whip. This is a great plan. Okay. I think, and then, yeah, that chain whip, is that very similar in kind of stuff that Bakme had?
It says non-section chain whip is what I have on my sheet.
See, I'm double checking real quick.
While you're double checking, I'm gonna look at Leo and I'm gonna say, what if before we summon him, we build a trap? Now, I was thinking, we want to have something that is effective against the pit fiend. So, silver darts or maybe silver daggers, and like they like fall from a top, or like maybe a trigger trap that spray him like a cone.
Or just grabs his leg so he can't move.
Maybe a silvered bear trap?
That's good too.
He's
That might be good for him also.
Again, those sorts of things might it might be difficult to get him to submit, even if it's silvered. So I guess just bear that in mind. But I think it's worth, all of these things together might actually be enough to do something for a moment at least.
So I don't see that Bakmai had a 9-sectioned staff that you're referring to. I checked Steel Crane and Jade Tigress as well, thinking maybe it was one of them, but they didn't mention it either. Is it possible
Curious.
you got this from somebody else?
No, it was Bakmai that had it. Because he didn't get to use it very much. Because he had to back away.
He's the one you guys got the Staff of Striking from. Remember, so that was his primary weapon, and then he had a melee attack other than that. So I guess unless that was on somebody else there, I don't recall that. But just going by the name, and again without not something we need to spend a ton of time on, I would say if it's a 9-sectioned staff, that's probably going to be like a whip as well.
Well, I think so let's see here. I'm gonna enchant a longsword into a +2 weapon for Dell. Then we have this whip that someone can use. Maybe Ranvan or Lexi's got a silver. She's got Fake Crescent. Leo's got his crossbow, which will do piercing. So Ranvan still needs a weapon.
I don't know if I could use that whip. I'm pretty. I like to keep it simple with my weapons.
Oh, simple, you say? That's
Very well said.
All right. Well,
I mean, I could try the whip. He picks it up and just starts like swinging it overhead. Is this it?
oh God.
Oh, put it down, put it down.
That's. I'm really just like thinking that like Ranvan immediately slices himself with it.
I think it probably slams into the back of his armor. He's like, "Is that it? Did I do it?"
It's very, very good, Ranvan. Maybe we'll just, you know what? I'll take that back. Just let me have that, and I'll just put it in my bag here, and I'll just hold on to that for now.
Okay. If I am going to use the blade barrier, though, it is concentration, so I'll probably stay back while that's active. It does a lot.
Fair enough. That's fine.
I'll also need a little bit of space for Bigby's hand, and I'll need to concentrate on that as well.
All right, so we won't worry about you two doing anything up close then.
Well, and it brings me to mind. I guess I could mentally catapult stuff at it, and maybe that'll make his nose bleed. But I won't be doing any slashing that I can possibly think of.
Well, I mean, catapulting is not a terrible idea. That it does damage, and if we do the right things, then it'll work.
Could we buy some like glass shards that you catapult?
How much does a dagger weigh? Or some darts? Could you catapult some darts?
I can. If we have daggers, I could throw that around, and I don't know if it'll be slashing damage. I have to reread my spell book.
Piercing, you stab with a dagger.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. Yeah, I knew that.
Piercing and slashing are both, I think, going to be are going to work. So
I would
think
suggest tying a dagger to the end of the staff, but I'm afraid Brandel would just sell it.
It
boom.
says whatever object I choose is bludgeoning damage for
Oh,
catapult.
right. But
And I
think
have psychic damage and bludgeoning damage, disintegrate, which is like force, so that's not going to do it.
Well, your psychic lance thing.
That's
Didn't you say that it will knock him out of commission? We could knock him out. He's dazed. Slash, slash, slash.
I suppose we don't need to. I think the majority of the damage has to be done with a melee weapon, but that doesn't mean that you can't be, controlling it through that psychic lance or something else too. So
telekinesis. Hold it where it needs to be. If Big B's hand gets defeated, or mine does, and Big B backs me up.
Well, Brandon,
Adam?
unless you have Bigby's hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask a rule thing because I thought that conversation ended.
I was gonna say, if you have Bigby's hand, Brando, why don't you be Ranvon's backup? And with Lexi and Dale doing melee, I could offer them support with things like Shield of Faith, haste, protection from evil and good, whatever is needed.
Sadly, I don't have Big B's hand. I have telekinesis, where I could try to hold him where he needs to be.
The same thing.
Yes.
actually, Brandel, that's I think a really good idea using telekinesis.
It is a
Because-
strength check.
Exactly. It's not. He doesn't have to save himself from it, if you know what I mean.
Yes, exactly. It's just a check.
He's probably very strong, but I think it's actually got a better chance of succeeding then.
Bigsby.
Right.
Goodness,
They-
I was thinking about Dell and Lexi both hasted at the same time. Holy moly.
That's what I was going to probably. You can do haste too, Frederick,
Yeah, of course
All
I
right.
can.
but I can do it too. But yeah, I think maybe that's it then. So Brandel tries to telekinesis it still. You haste, Lexi and Dell. Ranvan, you've got your blade barrier up or some other form of something controlling wise, and then I'll just pierce away with my crossbow. I think that's about as good as we're going to get.
Adam, in Blade Barrier, it says it does slashing damage. For the purposes of resistance, would that count as like magic slashing?
Yeah, spells always do magic damage unless they otherwise specify.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Leo says.
Well, sounds like we've got a good plan. How's everybody feeling? You feel good? It's for a great cause. There's no one I'd rather fight for.
Oh, thank you, Frederick. Missed you very much.
Honestly, I'm not 100% on this one. We need a lot of blood, and it sounds like this is already going to be a hard fight. So
And we have to get there, too. So I
Yeah.
think a surreptitious, maybe a direct approach, not opening every door we see, just find a teleportation circle, do the minimal damage or we are secret as possible, and then focus our efforts there.
Right. Adam.
So-
Sorry. Go ahead, Del.
So, if this goes sideways, do we have a way of getting rid of the pit fiend immediately?
I can banish it.
Okay.
I can
If it
use
works.
disintegrate if things shit hits the fan. That would be pretty significant.
Yeah, shit's really gonna hit the fan for that one. Goodness. When'd you learn that?
Well, I've been quite paranoid in the last several months and tried to learn some more things that would guarantee my survival.
Adam,
Yes.
do I'm just trying to kind of gauge, like, are we going to be able to tell, like, wow, there's a lot of blood, it looks good, or is it just going to be we really need to do as much possible damage as we can, and it, I'm just trying to.
Mechanically, there's a certain number of damage points that I'm looking for you to deal through slashing or piercing damage. So I'll be
Okay.
tallying a separate like scorecard, and once you hit that amount, I will then notify you that you. It looks like the entire circle is covered with blood. Now, again, this assumes that you're conjuring this creature and fighting it nearby the circle. If it moves away, or you guys push it away, or something, then you'll have to find some way of collecting some blood.
So, okay, no, that's perfect. That's what I was kind of hoping for, is that we would just kind of go, oh, it looks good enough to me, and then that'll.
No, I certainly won't pull the rug out from under you on that kind of a technicality.
Okay, cool.
Maybe we'll get some major major injuries that bleed 1d8 every turn.
Oh, right. If somebody did some criticals in it.
Well,
Was a champion fighter when you need it.
Man,
Well, I will say this. I'm going to have to prepare things that aren't going to help us, like Planner Binding and Magic Circle. So I'm going to have to focus my efforts on no damage, really. Just trying to hold him and keep him there, sadly.
perfect.
That's all right, Brindle.
That's exactly what we need.
I mean, really, that's exactly it. It's we need your technicalities that you can create and manipulate. So that's you do it. You do it.
No,
Good job.
We are a team.
So, who all is going to be maintaining concentration on spells for this against this pit fiend?
I will.
I will.
So Brandel and Frederick.
So, because there's some spells that would help, like Shield of Faith, protection from evil and good. Um, Bless, Rainbon. That would probably
For
help.
the con saves.
Yeah, whatever, and even it'll help us be able to hit it more effectively too. Um, it's just I can concentrate on a spell as well, but um,
I'm looking through everything I can do to see what I might be able to help with.
But we'll say this, guys. As much as we want to sit here and plan, most of the time shit hits the fan when we do this. I think we have a good baseline of what we need to do. I think that's
Yeah.
about it. We have to believe in each other.
The more we plan, the more shit gets fucked up. Let's just go for it.
I think Lexi's right.
You guys all know your abilities.
I could probably twin spell protection from evil and good on myself and Lexi.
I plan on hasting you, so that could be a valuable combination.
I think both of those would work well. I'll go, I guess, a little bit more defensive, and my.
We need your crossbow.
Oh, yeah, I would do that for sure. I was going to forego Silver attacking, and I'll have some other spells up that will occupy me. But Silver will still be there to at least help distract.
Hey, man, this is silly, but Magic Wall, does it, not Magic Wall, Wall of Force? It says nothing can physically pass through it, but I guess we could cast spells through it if I trapped him, right, Adam?
I don't believe Wall of Force allows spells to go through, but let me double check the text. It says nothing can physically pass through the wall. It is immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by dispel magic. So yeah, I think the only thing that can go through it is disintegrate, which destroys it instantly.
And that's actually one of the reasons why I got it, Dylan, is because I thought Adam was going to throw a wall of force at me because I use it so much. So I grabbed disintegrate.
I actually have already used it against you guys a couple times.
The old reversal. All right.
Onwards. Yeah?
I think we're ready.
Well, we're ready in the morning.
Right.
All right, so it sounds like the plan is you guys have figured out your plan. You know exactly what you're going to do. Again, I want to make sure I'm not pulling the rug out from anybody here. So it sounds to me like you guys have your pit fiend plan down pretty well. The rest of it you haven't necessarily discussed out loud, but sounds like you've got enough at this point of as far as what you're going to do. So while you guys were discussing, I actually did the math, and with the spell that you're looking for, assuming you can get it, it's going to take you a little over 4 hours to get to the village of Basalt, because you can move super, super fast when you are wind walking.
Yeah,
so,
I did the math. It's crazy math.
It is. It's like, yeah, moving speed of light or something. So,
yeah, it's really something insane.
Yeah, so what I'm going to suggest here is you guys, if there's nothing else that you want to do today here in Candlekeep, we can assume that you spend the rest of your time discussing, prepping, eating, drinking, resting, long rest into the morning, and then you guys would, assuming Silveria has been able to find this person to cast a spell for you for a reasonable cost, hint she will have, you guys will then take advantage of that and fly to the village of Basalt. Does that all sound accurate?
Accurate.
Mm-hmm. Fred's
Excellent.
willing to pay for the spell, depending on price, of course, if he can afford it.
Okay, so Fred, go ahead and throw me a blind persuasion check. Okay, so you guys sleep through the night, you get your long rest in, you're feeling about as well as can be given the circumstances about what you're about to go up and face. The danger obviously is very apparent. You realize this is going to be one of the stronger or tougher fights that you guys have ever been involved in. But eventually you are able to discover that Silvira has found somebody who is willing to assist you here. And being that this spell in particular is actually a druid spell, it is one of the scholars from the nature wing of Candlekeep. They are willing to cast this for you for a donation to Candlekeep of 250 gold pieces.
I'll donate 300 and be happy to do so.
They accept the extra money with grace, cast the spell, and send you all on your way. So essentially how this works is you guys exit Candlekeep, this individual comes out with you, casts the spell, each of you turns into clouds for the most part, as does the person. The person does not need to stay with you though, so you guys fly over very quickly, and eventually, knowing where you're going here to this village of Basalt, you pass over the area down below you super fast. Everything passing by just very rapidly, and after a good 4 and maybe a quarter hours, you eventually find yourselves on the outskirts of the village of Basalt.
At that point, I'll cast my mage armor as we look at the village.
All right, as you land on the outskirts of the village, you notice that this is very much a village built right on the side of a large hill or mountain here. You can see this whole area to the north and northwest of the village itself is very much prominent with the rock facing, and the snow-capped mountains off in the distance create a pretty picturesque setting. If you didn't know any better, looking at this village from just on the outskirts of it, it looks quite peaceful. In fact, you can see people moving around. Looks like mostly herders. You see a lot of people like tending to sheep. You can see some farmers. You can see people walking up and down. They look like a pretty regular village. I'd say the only thing that's distinctive here, as you notice that many of them seem to wear these black gloves.
Right, where's the church?
You're asking this question, or you're just going to enter and start looking around?
I'm asking my friends. Oh, actually, before we go to the village, can I, may I please do the mage armor and then a ritual telepathic bond for an hour.
When you're on the outskirts, yeah, you can do that.
Okay, so we're bonded telepathically.
When you said before we go to the village, I thought you were going to say, while we were selling Candlekeep, I was going to say, you got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah, you would just cancel me right there. You're done.
Yeah, I was going to come up with some fancy, nice way of saying, but no, I'm glad it wasn't that.
Yeah, when we arrive, I'm going to mage armor myself, and I'll get us together, and I'll get our comm set up for at least the next hour.
Yep, I think that's very reasonable. Ritual cast, which is like 11 minutes for you, and then one other spell. So yeah, you guys spend about 11 minutes on the outskirts observing the behavior of the village.
While we observe it, do we notice anything particular?
Any steeples or anything?
If you're looking for buildings in particular, I would say it's not too difficult to notice on the backside of the village, higher up in the hilly area. You can see a more prominent building that seems to have, from this distance, which looks to be like a black lightning bolt etched into its face. From watching the people, again, nothing untoward, nothing. Knowing that you're coming here and knowing what you know about this place, you were maybe expecting something a bit nefarious. Maybe people more prototypically looking for shady type of characters, that thing. But I mean, no. Overall, you get the impression of just very hardworking people from a small village. It could be many other small villages you've encountered in your lives.
Before we leave here, I do have to find. I really the only thing I have to go off is the mother of a man named Charles, and let her know that her son has passed away.
Right. Are you okay waiting for after, or?
Yeah, no, we can. It can happen after. If we, it doesn't have to happen right now.
Right.
We don't quite know the cult's influence on the town, so maybe not bringing too much attention to ourselves is best while we go right to the church.
I think that's a good idea.
Should
Ready?
I?
Hmm?
Should I put on the demon panties?
Yes. However, we need an hour for you to do so. Maybe Ranvan could talk to. Maybe we have a friendly conversation with Ranvan's connection here and talk about the unfortunate passing of the relative. And maybe we can have an hour where you can attune to it and I can turn you invisible. And then you could follow us. And when you choose to be uninvisible, it would be quite apparent.
I thought you were going to do that yesterday when the rest of us were all preparing.
She put it in chat, but I was studying spells and stuff and didn't see it.
Sorry, guys. I wasn't sure whether I should or not.
Oh, it's time. This is endgame shit.
I'm fine with taking an hour here, prepare ourselves, catch our breath. That was quite weird being a cloud.
All right, Adam. I'll put them on while they're talking with the not widow, but mother who left.
Yeah, so this may become important. So this will cost you one short rest for the day, Lexi. So everybody else will still have two. You'll have one left, but we'll assume you're doing that outside as you're spending some time on this belt. And once we wrap up the conversation, we'll get back to those details. So Ranvan, your intent is to enter the village of Basalt and start speaking with the locals and trying to find the mother of Charles?
I think so, yeah, because we're just trying to pass the hour.
I'll go with them.
Yeah, I think we'll all go, unless everyone's gonna go, right?
Well, someone has to stay with Lexi.
I'm going to stay with
right?
Lexi. I'm going to make her invisible. Once she turns into that devil, I think she should be invisible.
I'll stay. I'll stay with Lexi.
I'll stay too, right?
Also, yeah.
All right, you three together, and then I'll go with Ranvan and Del.
Okay, so Ranvan, Del, and Leo are entering the village of Basalt.
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
So as the three of you start entering, and you're bringing Silver, I assume, Leopold?
Um, it's probably better for her to stay out since we're trying to keep a low profile for right now. I'm going to instruct her to follow Brandel's instructions while I'm away and to watch him.
Okay.
Oh, come on, Silver, this way.
All right, so as the three of you walk up this narrow path to get to the village proper, you notice that once you're within like 100 feet or so, you're kind of moving around. It's almost like walking up a rocky path where there's like rock wall on either side of you, and you're kind of approaching and getting closer and closer to the village that you saw from the outskirts. As you do, you hear a voice calls from above you, and you quickly look up to see a man looks dressed very plainly like a sheep herder, just kind of standing here holding in this odd looking kind of rake in his hand as he looks down towards you and says, "Ho there, can I ask what you're doing?"
Good day, sir. We are seeking the mother of Charles.
Mother of Charles. I'm afraid, you haven't been here before, I presume.
No,
We are
it's
delivering
our
a
first
message. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's our first time in town, or village. We like it here, yeah, but yes, first time.
First time ever here, and you like it here. That's very quick to make a judgment. Okay, but understand most of the villagers here, well, we don't get a lot of travelers. Just ask that you please keep your hands to yourself and don't bother nobody none.
Okay, well, I am afraid that I haven't come bearing the best news, but I'm trying to just let my mother know about the fate of her son.
And you see he looks at you as you say this, and he says, I'm supposing then you mean old Wendy. Yep, she had a son named Charles. Head on in. You'll notice on the left side of the path, there's an area with this kind of large garden with all these sunflowers growing. That's Wendy's house. I would head on there. That's who you want to talk to.
Okay, thank you very much for the directions, and just do the miss a favor and don't spread that around until she's ready to talk about it.
Of course, we mind our business here in Basalt.
Have a good one.
Yeah, and you see he just kind of watches you very intently as you guys continue ascending your way into the village. And is it your intent to essentially head exactly where he told you?
Yep.
Alright, so as you guys move through the village here, you definitely notice again this very common set of attire is these black gloves that these people are wearing. And it's not all of them, but it's the vast majority of them. And you can see every now and again when someone takes like a hand off of a wheelbarrow or takes a hand off of a rake or something along those lines, the actual fingerprints on each one of these gloves is actually like gold. It doesn't look like it's necessarily gold, the actual material, more or less the color. So it's kind of like a strange fingerprint of gold color on a black glove. As you're approaching, you get a little bit closer. You see, obviously, the house that this guy has mentioned to you. The front garden, you see a bunch of sunflowers and things. And in fact, you can see a woman standing out front. There's kind of like a small railing on her porch area that she's leaning against, looking down at the sunflowers. As you're kind of passing this way, you see she kind of turns and looks at you. And as she sees you approaching, you see she steps back and like opens her door and steps in and closes it most of the way as she's eyeing you.
I'll remove my helmet, like take it off and hold it in my hands and say, ma'am, are you the mother of a man named Charles?
And you see this sort of look of concern on her face changes now to one of confusion as she looks towards you and says, yes.
Okay, and just before we start this, there's not other Charles. Is that a common name in this village? Is there others? I'm not about to make a mistake, right?
My son and my husband, but my husband has since passed, so only my son was Charles from this village.
Okay, you might want to, I won't ask you to invite us in, but you may want to just brace yourself. Ma'am, it does seem like your son has passed away. We came across his body. I'm a cleric by trade, and I managed to speak with him and find out where he was from, so I was just coming to deliver that news onto you.
And you notice she sort of like pauses for a moment and then slowly nods. I think I already knew. The The flowers bloomed so magically one night, and I felt it. But how did you come by this knowledge?
Again, we came across his his body.
Where did you come by it?
It looked like it was near a small.
It was in the Cloakwood?
Yes, and some people there said that he got in the way of some wolves who were trying to attack a young boy.
And you see she kind of looks and scratches the back of her neck for a moment and shakes and nods, says, well, and thank you for telling me. I please excuse me. You see she closes the door.
All right.
That's never fun to do. Let's go. Hey, Leopold, do you think everyone's wearing those gloves? I wonder if I can pick a pair up if it's the new mode.
Ivan, I don't think it'll go well with your armor.
I suppose you have a point.
I mean, I really liked the goggles on you too before, but I think this would just be a step too far. But, maybe when we get back to Candlekeep, when this is all done, we'll find you a pair.
That would be nice.
I love that Ranvan's always trying to seek like the newest trends or something.
Gotta remain young, right?
That's
all right,
good.
so with this information picked up in the village, is it you guys' plan to continue hanging around here and talking to people, or are you heading back to your companions?
How many looks have we gotten as we walked through this place?
All of them.
Yeah. We essentially have spotted the church from the outside, right?
From the outskirts, you spotted a building that looks what you would consider to be a church near the back end of the village, elevated on the hills.
Right.
Did you guys want to go just check it out, see what it's going to be like when we come near here?
I don't want to tip our hands.
Yeah.
I think
What'd
why
you
don't we
say,
just...
Leopold?
I don't want to tip our hand that we might be interested in it. So why don't we just leave? And then if we, when we come back, we'll just say, if someone asks, that it's too late for us to go back today to our homes. So we're going to stay the night here in the village.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
So for now, it sounds like rendezvous back with your companions.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. So you guys exit out of the village, walking back down that narrow rocky path that you took up here, and find your companions. As you're right about halfway of our session here, let's go ahead and quickly fast forward to the short rest being completed. Lexi, when you had finally attuned to this belt, the belt that you haven't attuned to since the days of Avernus, you realize there's something different about it now. It seems as though this very potent effect that it had upon it about automatically changing your form was probably some type of a subset effect of being in Avernus itself. While the curse is still on effect on this, you can tell that the ability to essentially change your form is now voluntary. So if you want the ability to fly and the ability to see in the dark, you can shape shift into this devilish form, and when you want to remain yourself, you can remain yourself. You may not have noticed this, but you've actually, for token purposes, I had this already set up for you. I'll have to make sure I've got it on the most recent version, but essentially allow you to just switch between forms as you like. So again, those are the two voluntary pieces, but keep in mind the curse is always in effect, so regardless of which form you're in, when you deal damage, you will suffer that fire damage.
Oh my gosh! I wish I would have known this.
I've been waiting for like 3 months to see if you put it on to let you know this.
What a great time to put it on, though, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is end game stuff. This is the last movie in the trilogy. We're ready to finish this.
We were also worried about it going back on Lexi, and then it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad.
Lexi, are you sure you did it right? You look the same.
Well, I could hit you and see
No.
if I take fire damage.
We should just take a break. I need to focus on what's just happening.
She said I could hit you and see if I take fire damage.
All right, with that in mind, as we are halfway through, let's go ahead and pause here, take our 15-minute break. We'll come back as the group approaches the church in the village of Basalt.
Right.
See you in 15.
Good job,
See you then.
everybody.
Alrighty, welcome back to the second half of our Mysteries of Candlekeep session here, and the group has just found their way to the village of Basalt and are in the process of heading up to the church to check it out. So, group, you guys have gotten your time to talk around the village just a little bit. Lexi was able to attune back to the belt and find that she actually has the ability to control the transformation. When she's transformed, she gets that fly speed, the ability to see in the dark. When she's not, she just has her normal half-orc attributes. But the curse does persist, meaning that when she strikes out, she does suffer the fire damage regardless. So think of it sort of, Lexi, as that strength benefit from the belt is always in play, as is the curse, and then the other two pieces are based on which form you're in.
Copy that. Thank you, Almighty DM.
Absolutely, yes. Like I say, I was curious to see when you would put it on, and that's, well, we found out, right? So, all right. Yeah,
Taking
right.
my now.
Right, yep. Yeah, it would have been a real bummer if it waited to the very end and then it was like, hey, by the way. But yeah, so you guys are looking at the village. Is there anything you would like to do other than just make your way right for the church?
I think head straight there.
All right, you guys make your way through the village of Basalt here. Brandel, you wish to cast that?
No, I meant to hit the little eye icon.
All right, no worries. All right, so you make your way up this winding path. Once again, all eyes on you for sure. You notice most people are certainly keeping their distance as you do so. You kind of wind up the path, and you can see people now are sort of gathered and speaking to one another as they eye you getting closer and closer up the hill. Eventually, you turn, see a little bit of dust, snow capping of the rocks here as you're getting closer to the church, and find yourself at this narrow precipice facing the building of the church itself.
It's a big one.
We keep this really peaceful music on because, man, it's so nice up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I like the flowers. When you caught up with Brando, he was playing with the dirt and trying to feel it in his palm and looking at the flowers a little bit.
Adam, if we look back behind us, is there a mob gathered down the hill?
Nope, there is not. But if you were to step off maybe 20 feet or so west, looking down, you would probably spot the group is gathered down below. Yes, that is because Frederick's not here quite yet. He's still catching up. These hills have just been a little bit much for him. So it's like he's got to really work his way up there. And then eventually he manages to get up there and just joins the group now.
Oh, little Frederick.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Got tiny legs.
That's why it took him so long to get up the hills, guys.
Silver, thank you for looking after me, but I think Leo requires your service. Very nice doggy. And I'll pat him on the head awkwardly.
Silver stares at you like she doesn't understand, even though she does, and then eventually after she's just been a weird dog for a moment, she'll come over back to Leo.
All right, quick description of what you guys are seeing here. Obviously, this is like steps up to the church itself. These are the main doors to the church. Here's a pair of closed shutters, as is a pair of closed shutters here. For the purposes of this map, it doesn't mean this is obviously the abyss over here. Think of this as sort of like a very rapidly declining edge. So if you decided to go this way, it's going to be, difficult terrain, falling down, having to climb, all that fun stuff. Same idea over here too far. So this church is certainly up on an area that's more flat, but it's still rocky up here. And yeah, it seems pretty plain overall, but looking up above the door, you certainly notice that black stylized. At first you thought it was a lightning bolt from a distance, but as you look at it now, it almost looks like a hand turned just so away that the fingers are kind of all connected with one another, with the index finger just slightly separate from the others.
No, wait a minute, guys. Wait, no, that's the wrong campaign. Never mind. We should be careful about this door. I was thinking my Curse of Strahd, I totally almost blew us all up at a door. In fact, I did blow us all up at a door. Remember that, Dylan?
Yeah, I think it was a chest, but yeah, I remember. I stayed with you in the room.
Does the church look frequented at all, or does it look closed down?
No, it certainly looks like it's not boarded up or anything like that, but based on the closed shutters, you would guess that it's, not necessarily what you would consider open to the public, perhaps.
Now remember, we were told inside this church there's a secret door that leads to the basement where the headquarters are.
So, should we knock?
Or should we look around without falling into the abyss? Is it possible?
There's a little bit of room on the other side there.
You all want to go through the back?
Oh, just get a feel of our surroundings.
All right,
Yeah,
as you
we'll
kind
look
of
over,
scurry. Yep, go ahead, Dylan.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna look over my shoulder. Are there like people watching us?
Not from this distance, no. You would have to walk the 20 feet or so to the west, and then you'd be able to look down towards the village proper, and you would certainly see a group gathered there. It doesn't look like they followed you up. The impression is more or less they were kind of shocked that you went this way, and they're all talking to each other about it.
Okay.
All right, so as you're scouting on the outskirts of this building, you notice, interestingly, perhaps not, there does not seem to be much in the way of windows on the side of the building itself. There is one side door from where you're looking here, Lexi, which you can spot a bit to the south here. So you can see one side door over here. Other than that, however, there's no windows, and the back of the building, should you choose to go that way, I can just tell you is equally unimpressive. There are no doors or windows on the rear side of the building either.
Well, guys, I see this door. Maybe we should open it.
Well, I could create a little eye to squeeze underneath the door. Is there an inch gap that I'm able to look inside before we knock?
Certainly seems to be, yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Here we go.
All right, you utter these magical incantations, your voice carrying over the rocky terrain here, and suddenly pops into existence an eye.
Yes, very well. I'll kind of shove it through this door since it seems to be convenient.
That is a window, but you can certainly send it underneath the door that Dell is currently standing in front of.
Yeah, that sounds good. I have my perspective. I think I can keep a good track of where I am with the eye.
Okay, so for ease of use here, I'm just going to slide Brandel inside so you can see what Brandel can see. Again, keeping in mind that there are limitations to this ability, but based on the size of this building, you don't think you're going to get lost. So feel free to move Brandel around, and we will assume this is currently the eye. If there's something in particular you'd like more detail about, just ask.
Is the bond still working?
Yeah, it's not concentration, I don't believe.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I see a big hand in the middle of this center hall telepathically, and there's a gentleman behind it. He's got a gray beard, looks human in nature. Looks like a giant Bigsby's hand, to be honest. Yep, there he is. And there's some doors to the south, I think, right, Adam?
There are, yes.
All right, what do I notice about the hand?
It is obviously very prominently displayed here in the center of the room, and you can't help but notice the similarity to the black gloves with the yellowish fingerprints that all of the villagers were wearing.
Yes, so each one of the digits, guys, has like a glowing golden hue to it, as if that is some mark. What are these special glowing things?
Those
here?
are just candles in an alcove.
to the south a little more. What is the gentleman doing, or what's his demeanor like? Does he see me? Do I sense that he notices my invisibility sensor?
Give me a blind check as Brandel. You don't think so. His back is to you at the moment as he seems to be looking up at the wall here. You can see there's kind of like this stylized writing on the wall, and he's kind of like eyeing it. You see he reaches a hand out and traces a finger along it, kind of nods to himself, turns back around, looks more towards the hand. You see him checking the candles as he's making his rounds around this area. There's two like fire baskets on the south side of the room. He kind of makes his rounds, checks those on occasion. This like credenza in the back, you see he kind of moves. So there's like doilies on it, and he's straightening them out, making sure everything looks proper. You get the impression of almost like an attendant, maybe.
Does he have black gloves on?
He does, yes.
When he touched the wall, was there any reaction with the glove and the wall, like a light reaction or something I noticed?
No.
All right. I'm assuming these doors here are where Lexi is outside. So, it's a door here. Is this a door to my direct south here?
There is, yes.
Okay, I'd like to see if I can squeeze under that.
You can indeed. You find yourself in a small room where you notice 3 people seemingly in this room. 2 of them are holding onto books at the moment, kind of leaning against the wall, tracing the passages through the book, seemingly reading. One of them actually mouthing the words silently. There's another one dressed in armor who has some weapons at his side, who's sitting nearby this chair by a desk and looking down at this like ledger.
All right, I think I can switch. Can I switch from hearing to hearing as an action or something?
You might be thinking of clairvoyance. I don't think Arcane Eye does that.
No, that's why it's called an Arcane Eye. Level 13 wizard. All right. Do I sense that I disrupted anything?
Go ahead and give me a blind check again. You did notice as you came through that one of the guys kind of coughed, and the cough seemed maybe a bit forced, and the other 2 kind of looked over towards him, and you see he kind of like looks towards the book and looks back down. Seems a little bit odd.
Okay. I'm going to duck back out then to the main hall. And there's another door here. How about I try to go through that door, please?
All right, you make your way over, pop on the other side, and notice a small storage room. Similarly, you can see that there are 3 individuals in this room. 2 of them look like they're actually discussing with one another, and you can see them gesturing as though kind of like combat motions. You can see one of them kind of like, driving with a pretend blade, like there's no blade in his actual hand, but he's like mimicking that he's, stabbing forth. And the other one's kind of like nodding at him, adjusting his shoulders, adjusting his stance, kind of touching upon his leg to like adjust to where he's standing, that sort of thing.
That's very interesting behavior. What's the differences between the 2 rooms? They seem to be different in decoration.
I would say this one perhaps appears more of like a storage capacity, where the other one was more books and logs and journals, that sort of thing.
And is there any reason I would deduce what they're actually doing with those actions?
Based on only being able to see them and not be able to hear them, the only impression I would say you would draw from this is they're discussing combat techniques.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll pop back out to the main floor, please. Sorry. And then I'm looking for the circle is what I want. So yeah, look at this door, please.
All right, you pass underneath this door and find yourself outside.
Oh, okay. Back inside, please. Hidden passage. The main chapel. I don't suppose my see invisibility would work through an arcane eye.
I can't imagine so, no.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Can you describe this wall again, Adam? Yeah, I think I kind of missed that when he said it was interacting with it. Can you
So,
re-describe
yeah,
that?
think of it like a stone wall, right? So the whole structure seems to be made of stone, and rather than just being flush or absent of any decoration, it has these kind of strange indentations in it. They almost look like swirl marks. And as you eye them, and imagine almost like somebody took something very sharp that could cut into stone and kind of just like went wild with it. They drew some scribbles, they drew some lines, they drew some waves, and it's kind of sporadic within a 6 foot by 10 foot area on the wall.
But it seems organized in his mind as I watch him interact with it.
I don't know that you could gather that. I would say he doesn't have any look of shock or surprise on his face.
Oh, what's this door? Oh, that goes at the front. Those are windows.
Those are windows, yes.
Yep. And I'll come out this door, and obviously it's where Lexi is.
Indeed.
I'm gonna
Hi, Brandon.
butt my eye in her face. Boom.
Jackass.
I mean, I don't think I could do any searching with an eye. I don't think I could search for traps or search for hidden doors or windows, but I see 7 people in there. I'll bring it back. So anyway, I don't have to bring it back, but I'll be back, and I'll just as I'm walking through at him, I obviously would describe it because I'm just concentrating on it. I'm still aware of my surroundings. I'll say there's room to the southwest has what I would see as 2 scholars and 1 armored creature. They're in some type of library, and there's more of a parchment room. To the southeast, so I would say this is southwest, this is southeast. The room down here, it has 2 armored folks and 1 unarmored looking normal rogue person, and it's more of a storage area down here. This is the room inside. Inside this area is the guy with the human beard who is interacting with a strange wall.
I'm curious how exactly it's a human beard.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh my
You said
god.
that there's. Hang on. You said that there's armored clad individuals hanging out by a storage room?
Adam, did you share my view to them, or should I describe it?
No, because we're relying on the great
Okay.
descriptive abilities of Brandel
Yeah.
Crane.
A human beard as opposed to a female dwarf beard. Clearly different aspects. Okay, so there are 2 rooms that I saw down here and here. The one here has 2 looking robed humanoids with another armored creature, humanoid looking thing. In here, it's more of like a library where there seems to be more parchments or whatever.
Sounds like we go to where the armor is.
So then down here we see 2 armored and 1 cloaked individual in this area, but it's more of a storage area. See,
Yeah.
and I would say in this area is this giant hand. Looks like a big hand. It looks just like the spell you'd cast, and has the golden lights on each of its fingertips. There's
Have I heard of that before, Adam? Like that symbol, or is
Give
it
me
religious?
a blind religion check. It does not ring a bell to you. Like, hands obviously show up in a lot of different religious mythos, but based on your check, you're not able to connect this to anything specific in your mind.
Mhm.
And there's that human with the human beard. He's interacting with a very strange wall. It's about maybe here, and has a bunch of slashes on the stone. But he's interacting with it. He has black gloves on and all that stuff. That's all I saw. The rest were windows and doors. It's a quite small place.
Brandel, certain demons can see invisible things. Did they seem like they noticed anything?
Yes, sadly, the area down here they gave a kind of an obvious cough when I went underneath the threshold, and so I took my eye away immediately. But they didn't turn to look at me. They just kind of gave a cough.
Sounds like we know where we need to go.
Shall I knock?
There's a door over here. Maybe we go in the side door and avoid the old man.
Well, that'll actually go right in front of the old man. He's right there.
Okay. Well, let's go the other way.
Either way, I don't see any of the doors from the storage room or the library room. The only way into this room here or this room is through the main hall.
Onwards and upwards. Let's do it.
Right.
Let's go.
I think don't worry about hurting these people. I think it's pretty clear that this is something going on in here. So I'm willing to bet these are not good people.
Yeah, slashes on the wall. That makes me curious as well. Like,
Hey, Adam, what do I remember about the clothed figured robes and stuff like that? Did they have devilish Asmodeus as my experience in Avernus? Did they have devilish markings on their robes?
Nope. I would say they just wore kind of typical surcoats, cloaked hoods. You didn't notice any kind of religious iconography or anything that would give you the impression that they're associated with devil worship.
And would I be able to do a check while in there and trying to figure out what deity this church would be associated with what I saw?
As Frederick already asked one, I'll get you on a disadvantage. Again, I would say you know that hands are associated with a lot of different religions. This one in particular doesn't jump out to you of anything really specific. I would say you just have this sort of general sense that the hand factors very prominently in their religious beliefs.
Hand.
Okay, guys, just so I'm clear. We're gonna enter, and then are you guys gonna try your talkie thing, or do we just need to hit him and push him out of the way so we can find that circle?
Talkie thing first.
Alright. So I'll wait for you guys to talk, and then when you mess up, then I go murder style.
as per usual.
Got it.
Yes, let's hope the talkie thing works, because we don't want to alert a great presence beneath, right? The headquarters is downstairs. I don't know how we're going to get freedom to look for a secret door. There's quite a few people in there.
I think as soon as we walk in, they're probably going to throw down.
Yeah, I don't know how much talking we're going to be able to do. I mean, unless somebody can put somebody to sleep or something.
I prefer that. Knock away. Or open the door. What? It's at a public place. There you go, Del.
Del, as you open the door, you notice an older gentleman standing in this room turns and looks your direction. You see he slowly moves and looks right towards you and says, "Pardon me, I do not recognize you. State your name and business."
I am Delzaris, and me and my companions seek an audience with a being from the lower planes. And I'll, as the doors open, I'll pop my gauntlet off, and I'll use the ring to brand the door with Asmodeus' symbol.
Give me a blind, I'm going to say your choice of deception or persuasion.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, okay. You notice he looks at you intently for a moment and says, "Oh, by all means, come in, come in. I didn't know there were other agents in the area."
Can I throw my eye downrange towards the door and
Out of context, that sounds so strange, but where is
I
it?
know.
Where is it
I
you
know.
wanted to go?
my arcane eye like south towards those back doors and have a look at I want to look at this door and see if I'm seeing a reaction from these folks. Just right underneath the door.
Nope, you don't see any reaction thus far.
What is your name?
Around here, I am called Father Chain.
It's nice to meet you, Father. My name is Frederick Young. Like my friend said before, we seek an audience. We heard this was the place to come.
And you must understand that as we are a secretive group by necessity due to those who wish to do us harm, I must ask, how have you learned about us?
Through an agent of the Raven Queen.
You see, he looks at you kind of curiously. Is that so? Wait here a moment and let me see if I can arrange this meeting that you require.
Okay, Adam, can I follow him with my eye?
Sure, yeah, so the eye's just kind of getting a little bit closer to him. You're kind of seeing the same type of deal that you are. You're going to see he comes down here. He will open the door. He will step in. You're going to notice he kind of enters the room. Through your eye, I would say at this point, Brando, you see him point at the three gentlemen, and you assume some words are being said, but you don't hear anything. You'll see he will then step out. He will start to cross this area, and you see he looks back towards you guys and puts up like a one finger, like a hold on a minute, and then he opens this door as well.
And I'd follow that as well. I'm risky for the biscuit.
All right, and as the eye follows him, you would notice from behind as he sort of enters, once again points at a bunch of people, seemingly as saying some words that you don't necessarily recognize, and that's where we're going to go ahead and lock the tokens. Okay, so Brando, as you've noticed this all occur, and thanks to the benefit of your arcane eye, I would say at this point you have the pretty distinct impression that this gentleman has just told the others of your presence, and he's asking them to come out. You would be first to react. What would you like to do?
Telepathically say he's alerted 6 people to come out and... do they look angry with my eye? Does the guy look like, let's go? Do they look motivated, or do they like nonchalant?
Certainly motivated. I wouldn't say he necessarily looks angry. He looks like he's trying to communicate information quickly.
Okay, be on your guard. 6 are coming their way, 3 armed and 3 cloaked, from both those south rooms. I'm going to, as an action, leave my eye there. I'm going to I'm going to take a step back if I can, somewhere in there in the middle of that archway, and I will take a dodge action, I guess. Who knows where this goes, guys? On your guard.
Okay, Ranvan, you would be the next to react.
Okay, if they're coming, then what I'd like to do here, and this is going to be too hard to say in character, is I'd like to grab Frederick and move him to here, and then take his spot, like chess style.
So essentially grapple Frederick, pull him backwards, and then step in where he was.
Yeah, castle. Yeah, that's it, Fred.
All right, so yeah, Fred, if you're not resisting, we can assume, castle takes rook or whatever.
And that'll be it for my turn, because that's an action to grab him, I think.
Yes, yep. All right, next up is Leopold.
Leo will hold a... He's gonna get out his crossbow. He's gonna hold an action to attack the first... We are going for it, I assume.
Yeah, they didn't look friendly. They looked motivated to come out.
He's going to hold an action to attack the first one of their people that he sees.
And because you don't necessarily recognize one of their people, I'm assuming that means anybody that comes out into this main room, you're firing.
Yeah.
And
anyone that's not us.
Okay, fair enough. All right, anything else on your turn, Leopold?
Silver's she's gonna knight to Rook 3 or whatever over here.
Yes.
I think that's my turn.
All right, go ahead and pass your turn as we move into the south room, and you're going to see one of these individuals steps out. Leopold, I think you have a line of fire there. Would you like to take a shot?
Sure.
Yeah, so your angle, again, is going to be, obviously I'm looking through the eyes of your token. It's going to be pretty an obstructed shot. You can see just part of his probably shirt at this point.
That's fine, and I do have sharpshooters, so there's no cover bonuses for them. But
Okay,
we'll just do a regular shot here.
Yes, that will certainly connect as the bolt punctures into his shoulder. And you hear him sort of like howl in pain as this occurs. And from there, he will step one more. And from here, he's going to look down towards you, Leopold, and you're going to see he motions with his hand and points at you. And I will need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Can I see him?
I don't know. Can you see him?
I see a quarter of him.
I would say you don't see him enough to counter that.
Roger that.
Okay, you feel your body kind of start to become rigid here, Leopold, but you're able to fight through the worst of it and not be affected by this. He will then step back a bit. Coming out of this doorway, similarly, Dell, you'll notice as another one of these individuals pops up and looking towards you, realizing that things have gone down here, he is going to cast a spell towards you as well. Yeah, Brando, you're not actually in a square at the moment, so...
Yeah, I don't know how to... I mean, I would just choose
which square?
one.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, so that's... Yep, that'll make it easier. Okay, so he'll point towards you here, Dell. Casting a spell, and I will need a wisdom saving throw. Alright, yes, and you feel similarly to Leo as you kind of start to lock up for a moment, but you shake it off. Next up is Frederick.
Okay. Frederick smiles and kind of looks around and says, well, it's been a while since we've done this. Well, you know the rules, guys. And he kind of wipes down on the end of his finger, and then with the blood dripping down it, he says, Torm protects. And he pushes it against Lexi's back, and as he does, he's going to draw a piece of it with him and then put his hand on Leopold's chest, and he's going to do Shield of Faith, and then he's going to twin it.
Baller.
So Lexi and Leopold both have Shield of Faith on them now, and I'm going to take a defensive position back with Brandon. Action is using dodge.
Okay. Okay, next up is Lexi.
Alright. Lexi will stroll over to this one. Hack out at him.
Fate Crescent is unsheathed.
Yes, it is. Ooh.
Is that
Adam,
plus 10 on the attack?
I'm not seeing it on my character sheet.
Did Fate Crescent get lifted when we were in one of the towns?
Oh god.
It sure better not.
You look for Fate Crescent and it's not there.
I think you just put it down as Battle Axe, didn't you?
It was like... I think it was named Fate Crescent, but I'll just do...
To be fair, we haven't hit anything in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks, yep. Yeah, I think it's just your Battle Axe.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there's a good start. Go ahead and throw a slashing crit.
Bear with me. I'm on my laptop.
All right, so we will take all of that damage. So yes, as you snap up and slash out towards him, let's see, you will simply take the 2. Remember, you don't take extra damage on a crit. You will get burnt a bit from the effects of the belt, but your blade cuts right through this guy like butter, and he just goes down quickly in a heap.
All right. And she will... I think she'll step back a couple paces and stand there.
All right, as you do so, you'll notice this older man steps up in the doorway. From here, he is actually going to cast a spell.
And I can see him, so I'm going to try to get that.
Okay, and which level would you like to burn on your
Just
counter
level
spell?
3.
All right, go ahead and give me a spell caster level check. So for you, that should just be an intelligence roll.
Would that work, or do you want me to hit the sheet?
Just roll it publicly. Okay,
Not
so
a save, but
won't be a save, but I'll still take your roll. So yes, as he casts the spell, you quickly cancel it, and you notice he mutters and says something quietly nearby to his companions here before stepping back. Go ahead and burn a counterspell off your sheet.
Yep.
Okay, and then coming through this other doorway is another guy. He's going to see Lexio here. Step over to here. Next guy will also come out of the room. He's going to step up to here. Dell, your turn.
Okay. Can you describe this guy that just stepped up? Is he just like in full plate?
He is wearing splint mail armor, and you can see he's holding a long sword in one hand and a short sword in the other as he approaches.
Okay. I'll step up. Bonus action, draw the Sunblade, and I'll make my attacks.
All right, you'll be attacking at disadvantage as he has dodged. Okay, first attack will miss. Second attack manages to get through his defenses and puncture in.
Let's see here.
Alright, the Sunblade slashes into him and burns him with radiant energy. Alright, this one here, Lexi, he is going to point towards you as he casts a spell. I will need a wisdom saving throw. Lexi, unfortunately, you're going to find yourself paralyzed.
Dang it.
And very bad timing, because as you're paralyzed, the last guy in initiative steps up and slashes out towards you. So being paralyzed means these are attacks at advantage, and if they hit, they're auto crits. So first roll, get me a defensive roll at disadvantage for yourself. Okay, so this first one will hit. So now go ahead and roll a slashing crit on yourself. Thanks for that reminder there, Fred. Okay, so a normal damage roll on the longsword. So that will deal 9 points of slashing damage. He will then follow that up with a second slash of that same longsword. Another defensive roll at disadvantage. And unfortunately, this will connect again. Go ahead and roll another slashing crit upon yourself. All right, so we won't roll damage. We'll just take max, so that will be 11 damage to you. And then you'll see he will follow up with a third strike of his short sword, so another defensive roll at disadvantage. And this one will also connect, so go ahead and roll a piercing crit on yourself this time. All right, great rolling there, though. All right, so that'll be 8 points of piercing damage. So even though you're paralyzed and pretty much defenseless, you managed to come away with that not too badly in the exchange as we move to the top of the next round with Brandel.
All right, Brendel's going to move 5, 10, 15. I'll go 10. I want to telekinetically shove this guy, please, as a bonus action.
So you're trying to shove him backwards?
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a spell effect roll. No, he will not be shoved.
Okay, and then I'm going to... It's my bonus action. I'm not dodging anymore. So what do I see in my arcane eye in that room, by the way? Because it's left, like, near the door there.
I think your eye was in near the edge of this room, right? Because you were trying to watch what was going on. So I would say you're not going to see much more than what you see right now. You would see maybe a little bit more of the room, but that's it.
Do I see any change in the room? Where's the... I guess there were two armored in here. Is there any other move? What's the cultist guy doing? Oh, he's dead. Okay, yeah, cool.
So not unless you move the eye further into the room would you be able to make much out in there.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to cast... What do I have here? I have... Okay, on this guy here, I tried to shove. I'm going to try to hit him with a frostbite. I think that gives him some disadvantage, right? Yeah, okay. I'll try to hit him with a frostbite.
All right, go ahead and roll a spell effect roll. Yes, this will certainly affect him, so he will take some cold damage, and then I believe he's slowed.
Yep. And then I'll move back to here, and I'll end my turn.
Okay, I'm going to step here. I am going to cast Bless as a bonus action. That one. That one. Targeting Lexi, Leopold, and Dell. And then I will let Lexi attack this guy with her reaction.
Okay, you try to get Lexi to attack, but being paralyzed and all, nothing happens.
Okay, wait. I can see she's like on the floor, right? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get
You can see she's stuck in place and not moving.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna get Leopold to attack this guy then.
Okay. Yes, that will certainly connect as the bolt flies out, strikes into this guy, and wounds him as the bolt connects in his thigh.
Okay, seeing Lexi probably needs some help, I'm going to spend the rest of my movement to get up here. And then I will cast Sacred Flame on that same guy right below me.
Sacred Flame. Okay, spell effect roll. Yes, that will certainly connect as the radiant energy cascades down upon him and wounds him.
That's me.
All right, Leopold's turn.
Leo is going to go down here. He's going to cast Lesser Restoration on Lexi, which will remove the paralysis effect.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and burn a Lesser Restoration. Nice, okay, Lexi, you find that you are able to move once again.
Woohoo! Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm. Bonus action, he's going to whistle for Silver, and she's going to come bounding up right here. And she's going to give this guy a little chomp.
Goes for the nip. All right. Unfortunately, he will manage to evade that bite.
Yeah. Okay, and shit, how much did I move to get down here? That was 20 feet. Okay, so Leo's just going to move back 10 feet to there. That is his turn.
All right, we move to this guy here. He is going to step. Actually, I think he's probably going to just step to here. And then Dell, you'll see he's going to cast a spell on you, and I will need a wisdom saving throw. Yes, you managed to evade this effect as you are not struggling with the paralysis. He is then going to back up a bit. Let's move to Frederick's turn.
Okie dokie. Fred's gonna move to here. And as he gets up to this spot, he's got a good line of sight on the guy in front of Dell. So he kind of angles his hand below the pinky of that big hand coming out of the floor, and he's going to fire off 3 Eldritch Blasts at the guy in front of Dell. Here comes number 1.
All right, first one will connect. Second one, go ahead and roll a force crit.
I thought it was only on my first attack. Would that be the same with spells?
Crits can actually crit on every roll. Fumbles can only fumble on the first roll.
Sounds great to me. You said force? Force, right?
Yeah, force for Eldritch Blast, yep. All right, so we'll take both of those. So I've got 3 sets of damage so far, and then your third ray. That'll connect as well. Okay, hey, that makes it easier to add up. Yeah, so as all 3 rays connect, bashing into him very badly, they leave him near death.
All right, Delzaris, that's all you. We call that an alley-oop where I'm from.
All right, we move to Lexi, who is no longer paralyzed.
All right, I'm gonna try and alley-oop the one below Ranvon and put it out of its misery.
That's a slam dunk.
That will certainly connect, wounding him.
Smack him again.
Second attack also connects. Sadly, that's rolling ones for damage. But the second one is enough to kill him as that blade digs into him and he is slain.
I don't know if the alley-oop is the thing, Frederick.
All right, this guy's turn. Knowing that he just got counterspelled, he steps up to a position, looks, notices that he can still see Brandel, steps back a little bit further to make sure he cannot see Brandel, and then he casts a spell on you, Leopold, and as he does so, you see he points out, and this terrible blackish energy streaks out to you, resembling a skeletal fingered hand that is just shedding shadow, and I will need you to make a Constitution saving throw. All right, you will succeed, suffering half of this damage. So that will be 29 points of necrotic damage as this skeletal hand touches upon you. All right, next up is this guy going toe-to-toe with Dell. You see after he got walloped really bad, he looks back and you see he puts his blades like at his side and says, "I surrender. Do not kill me. I will stay out of the way." You see he steps over here and kind of like presses his back against the wall. Dell, your turn.
Can I insight that?
As an action, if you wish.
Oh, well. Never mind. Sunblade.
On that same guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, still at disadvantage as he is attempting to dodge you. Ooh, fumble. Go ahead and roll yourself a fumble. Oof, okay, go ahead and roll a dexterity check. So not a save, but a dex check. So that's just clicking on the word dex on your sheet. All right, so you succeed on this, so it slips from your hand. I imagine it's sort of like you're bobbling it here. So you don't throw it into your enemy's space. So essentially you just bobble it, and that's treated as a miss.
Okay. I'm gonna hit him again.
All right, yeah, getting your grip back on the blade. You slash back out. Again, disadvantage.
Actually, yeah.
This time will connect, even though he's trying to defend himself. Go ahead and post damage. Yes, the blade slices right through his body as that radiant energy suddenly springs from the backside. You see the life goes out of his eyes as he collapses.
Um, 10, 15, 20, 25. This guy. I'm gonna drop. Um, I'm gonna drop 2 sorcery points and quicken Mind Sliver.
Quicken Mind Sliver. Okay, go ahead and throw me a spell effect roll. Burn those 2 sorcery points, and we'll see if the Mind Sliver affects him. Let's see. So this is intelligence. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that certainly will affect him. So the psychic energy cuts through his mind, dealing some damage. And I'm pretty sure there's a rider effect on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a save, right? Yeah.
He
Saving
subtracts
throws is
D4 from his net. So yeah, go ahead and just throw a D4, and I'll apply that to a little token so we know how much he's losing on his next save. Nice, okay. All right, we move to this guy. He is going to... Yeah, he's going to step back to that same sort of blind spot, and he is going to cast another hold person upon you, Lexi. Lexi, wisdom saving throw. Unfortunately, once again, Lexi, you find yourself freezing up as the magic takes hold. And look at that timing. It couldn't be worse as we move to the guy who's trucking away at Lexi last time. Lexi, defensive roll at disadvantage. The blade somehow gets caught up in your armor, not able to penetrate as he pulls it back and slices again. Second defensive roll. This one manages to get through, critically hitting. Go ahead and roll a slash crit on yourself. Damage twice, add them together, and the creature is bleeding, so this time unable to defend yourself. This comes through particularly hard. Alright, that's going to be 9 points of slashing damage, and at the start of each of your turns, you're going to lose D12 in blood, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a blood icon on you. For future reference, that's exactly the thing you want to hit the pet fiend with, you know?
Yes.
All right, so
We're learning here.
Lexi's currently bleeding. A third defensive roll, Lexi, as he follows up with that short sword.
Like, now they're 11.
I know. This one will also connect critically, so go ahead and roll a piercing crit upon yourself. All right, so this will be considered a true crit. All right, and that's going to be 9 points of piercing damage as that short sword digs deep. And we move to the top of the next round with Brandel.
All right, move 5, 10, 15, 20. Telekinetic bonus action, pull Lexi towards me.
Lexi, would you... Actually, you don't get a choice because you're paralyzed, so yeah, that's going to work.
See the guy through the door. Where's my arcane eye see? I'm right at the threshold of the door. Do I see anything more than I see now?
Not at the threshold.
All right, from there, I'm going to, on this creature here, and I'm going to do another frostbite, and if he fails, he gets a disadvantage to the next weapon attack.
All right, spell effect roll on him. Yes, that will indeed take effect.
And 30? Yep, and my turn.
Okay, Ranvan.
Okay, I am going to turn around, and this time I will cast Lesser Restoration on Lexi.
Nice. Okay. So Lexi, once again, you will find that paralysis fades away and you're suddenly able to move again.
Thanks, Ranva.
And then I will move here and here so that this guy can get in the flank.
Okay. All right, move to Leopold's turn.
Good job, Ranvan. And then he's going to fire his crossbow at the guy that he can
The one that you can see.
Do I want to? I do want to do sharpshooter on this one.
All right, you line up a very precise shot, fire it off with the bless. That will indeed connect, puncturing into him.
Excellent. We're going to do it again.
Line up that second shot. This will connect as well. I see advantages on there. Was advantage for a reason?
I think I just have not clicked it off.
Okay, no worries. Either way, still connects as both of those bolts puncture in, and he is hurt.
Good. Bonus of Silver is going to come over here and follow up.
That will connect as well as it bites in his lower back, wounding him.
Good. Oh man, he's so close. I think that is everything Leo has got right now. You know what? He is going to just get a little bit out of the way. That's his turn.
All right, as you're looking towards this guy here, Dell, you notice he motions with his hands very quickly as he presses himself closer to you. You see his face lights up with this sort of malevolent energy as he says, "Flee from me." Give me a wisdom saving throw.
He said, "Flee from me."
He did.
So is this a charm? Because I'm half elf.
This is the command spell.
So okay. So wouldn't I have advantage?
What does the half elf thing say? Does it say versus enchantment?
Let me find it. Against being advantage against being charmed.
Okay, so unfortunately, I don't think this is actually considered a charm. It's not the charm condition. It's just a short-term enchantment.
Okay. You said wisdom?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. So, yes, as he intends to cause you to run away from him, certainly does not work. And you're kind of just standing there and you see he just looks at you with big open eyes, pretty much realizing what his fate's about to be as we move to Frederick.
Isn't that a fumble though?
Not for these ones that don't deal any
Okay.
damage. We haven't been doing fumbles on.
Gotcha.
Okay, Frederick's turn.
Okay, looking over the other side and seeing kind of Ranvon doing Ranvon things over there, I'm going to move my way here, and seeing that that particular individual has been dealt a few blows, I'm going to raise my hand kind of similar. I'm going to like try to mimic the statue beside me, and you see my hand kind of glowing with the fingertips as well, and then I'm going to snap real quick and cast Sacred Flame on that guy.
Okay, spell effect roll, please. Yes, that will certainly work. That will be considered a crit. Go ahead and roll a radiant crit. Okay, so I think the damage is probably going to do it anyway, but go ahead and post your Sacred Flame damage. We'll see if that takes him out. It sure does, yeah. So as this radiant energy slams down upon him, he's dazzled for about a half a second before he's deadzo.
Okay, that was 20 to get there, so I'm gonna go, let's see. Is it possible for me to get underneath this, like into this little crevice here? Kind of like ducking into in between the spots of the hand at him?
Sure, yeah, I'd say you could do that. Putting yourself in perfect grasping position.
I mean, yeah, if it was a mechanical hand, then yeah, it could pinch my head for sure.
All right, sounds good. So Lexi, start your turn. Go ahead and roll a d12 as your wounds continue to bleed. All right, nice roll. 1 point of damage to Lexi.
Woohoo! And can I staunch the bleeding?
As an action, you can. Yep, that will end the bleed effect upon you.
All right. I'd like to do.
All right, you spend your action, and you are no longer bleeding as you apply some pressure to the wound and tend to that wound. All right, this guy's turn. He's going to step to here. Still not seeing Mr. Counterspell. He is going to break out a... let's see, would he do this to Ranvon?
No.
I think he would do this. This potentially could be...
From what I know of him, no.
This could be bad times. All right, you're going to see he waves his hands and he pulls out, like, twists his hand, and you can see these sort of like bluish and yellow tentacles actually go right for your head, and you can feel them compressing on your brain. I need an intelligence saving throw.
I'll use my inspiration here for advantage.
Okay.
Are these blind? I can't remember.
That you can roll publicly.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Ranvon, this suddenly takes effect upon you as you are going to suffer some damage.
Oh, intelligence is one of those bad ones.
14 points of psychic damage, and your intelligence and charisma scores become 1. You cannot cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. You can, however, identify your friends, follow them, even protect them.
Do I lose concentration with an intelligence score of 1?
It doesn't say that in the spell, so I'm going to assume that you maintain concentration, not intentionally, but that's just what you were doing before, and you're not smart enough to know what it was, so you just kind of keep doing it.
Like nursing a headache.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, that's that guy's turn, and then we will move to Dell.
All right. I can't see his health bar because it's in the wall.
He's about 60%-ish.
Okay. Sunblade.
All right, you strike out with the Sunblade. Yeah, that'll certainly connect. That wounds him. Second attack connects as well. and that makes him near death.
Well then. I want to end this guy. So, goodness gracious. Guess I should, bonus action. Hold on. Where's my bonus action? What do we got?
Quicken spell, maybe a spiritual weapon.
Yeah. I'll just quicken another Mind Sliver.
Mind Sliver, sure, yeah. Go ahead and throw a spell effect roll. And he'll take a -4 penalty to this, so we'll add that essentially as a +4 to your spell effect roll. Yeah, that'll certainly take effect, and I don't think you can do less damage than his health is left, but go ahead and roll it just to confirm. Yeah, so essentially his head hemorrhages as he bleeds out, dying from the psychic damage.
And everyone just hears, command me to flee. And step here. 5, 15. 20, 25, 30 to there.
Okay. All right, this guy's turn. Ranvan, you don't know what he's saying. It's like he's doing this thing, like moving his mouth or something. Del, you hear the older guy say, "Block the road. I'll make sure I'll get us out of here. Block it." And he is going to step up to here, and he will then assume a defensive position and cast a spell upon himself, which you recognize as Shield of Faith.
Can I use my reaction to wave at him?
You can, yes, absolutely. Brandel, your turn.
I move 5, 10. Is the door closed?
It is not.
20. Oh, I had a better shot back here.
30.
Yeah, that's 25. I'm going to pull out my wand of magic missile. I'm going to do 2 charges of it, so you will see 4 missiles heading his way.
All right, nice. Yeah, so he will attempt to dodge those, but not able to do so, of course. Go ahead and post damage for those.
I hit the button and it might be lagging.
It has been a little laggy tonight.
Let me do it from my attack thing. Magic missile.
Worst case scenario, you can always just throw a D4 in chat.
Yeah, I'll just roll. I'll take GM off. I'll do what? 4d4?
Just roll 1 and then
one,
we multiply
yeah.
that by... So you say using 2 charges?
Yeah, so it'll be 4 darts, right?
Yes, yep. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus an extra 4, 20. So yes, these missiles slam into him, wounding him.
And I'm actually going to stay there. Ooh, I want to be able to counterspell. 5 more feet of movement. Maybe I should go here. Oh, yeah, it's a good line of sight. Okay, and my turn.
Okay, Ranvan.
I think Ranvan slowly turns around and smiles at Del.
Get out of the way.
Don't know what he said there, but he didn't sound super happy, which is not great. But I'm going to go over here, and I think I'm going to grapple and wrestle with the dog.
Okay, fair enough. So we'll assume this is more or less like a not necessarily mechanical grapple, more or less a, hey, what's going on over here kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm picturing him like a very, very happy drunk.
All right, fair enough. And you notice that the guy here does not use a reaction to attack you. Well, you don't notice that, but everybody else does. All right, Leopold.
Leo looks at Randvan and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he keeps moving. He's going to shoot at this guy.
All right, you line up a shot at the dodgy, shielded, defensive. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Let me throw him a quick Constitution saving throw. Yes, he does still maintain concentration on Shield of Faith. Go ahead and make your attacks at disadvantage. First one connects, and that will do exactly enough damage to get him dropped to the ground.
There's still that guy in there.
Yeah.
The guy with the beard.
Shit, how much movement did I can't, why can't I remember how many squares I've moved? Okay, so I was right here. That's 10. And then I was here? Or was I down
right.
one more? Okay, so that was 20. 25. Not gonna make it in there. I'm gonna pull Brian Fun off of Silver and say, Silver, get in there and find him. And she's gonna bound off.
Oh.
I guess I can't see her to control her, but I mean, I imagine she would be able to find the man to
She
attack.
does. Yeah, she gets right next to him.
She will attack.
Yeah, she bites out, and you can hear the sound of pain.
Right. And then Leo's just gonna look back at Ranfun and go, "What the hell is going on?" And that's his turn.
Okay, Frederick's turn.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna come here. I'm not seeing much in the way. I'm gonna move this way. Okay, this room's empty. So then I'm gonna come back to this spot here. Can't really see anything from this side, so I guess I'll use my action to dodge for now. And I'll like wave to Ranvan like, over here. Come on, over here.
Ha
All right, Lexi's turn.
Okay. You're gonna see green colored wings sprout from Lexi's back. She's gonna fly up in here.
All right, nice. And when you do that, Lexi, just so you know, you can right-click on your token. At the very bottom, you'll see a thing that says multi-sided. And if you put your cursor there, it'll say choose side. And when you choose side, you'll have a little slider. And you can move back and forth between your two forms.
I'm on my laptop. I don't know if I can right-click. How do I right-click on it?
No worries. I'll take care of it for you for now. I know that's probably a pain.
Sorry.
Yes, she's back.
Alright. She's gonna stand. Ooh. I forgot how cool that picture looks.
Yeah, we had to show everybody. That's a good one.
So yeah. So she's gonna sprout these demon wings. Her eyes are gonna start glowing.
Devil wing.
I believe I like imagine this as a part of like Brandel's journal every week, where he's like, "Why does everybody keep calling them demon? They're devils, please."
Just demon just sounds cooler.
I think they're doing it on purpose now. That's what Brandel's convinced they're just doing it to get under his skin.
Solely to taunt Brandel.
All right, you fly up next to the older man. I'm assuming you want to like have some really nice words of conversation with him.
I'm just gonna light on these chairs next to him, like 1 foot on each chair, and she's gonna like bare her devil teeth at him, and swing the fate crescent right at his face.
All right, as your body twins and contorts and you fly over here, you slash down. That easily connects, slashing into his shoulder and drawing blood.
And she'll do it again.
Follow it up with a reverse strike, which also connects, hitting him in the ribs.
Alright. And I don't have haste, so I think I only get 2. So she'll snarl at him and smile at his wounds.
All right, and as he stands here out of the range of any kind of counterspell,
Dang it.
he looks towards you, Lexi, and as he does so, you're going to see he pulls out this forked metal rod and he waves it very quickly. And as he does, you're going to notice, whoop, suddenly he vanishes as you notice this sort of essence around him that looks very hellish. You recognize almost like the terrain of Avernus suddenly swallows him and he is gone. Alright guys, we are effectively out of combat. So I'll go ahead and end combat there, get us back onto... Now we know that this is not a peaceful place. I know you guys were thinking that originally, but now we get to more of our true music that represents this area.
There's an office in the other room.
It's more of a storage room. This is the room I'm interested in.
Well, wait, guys. Our biggest issue right now, before we go anywhere and open any secret door, is Ranvan. Ranvan, you okay?
He smiles at you.
Shit.
And would it be a medicine check or an arcana check or some other check to figure out what is wrong with Ranvan?
I think this is probably more arcana, because if you said I want to use medicine, I'd let you. I'd probably just give you different information depending on which one you used.
I would like to use... Or maybe I'll actually...
You don't have to be proficient in both, do you?
I'm not proficient in medicine, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll say if you were, I'd give you advantage on the check, just because both of them really apply here.
And that wasn't... His effect wasn't a concentration spell? Because Lexi hit the guy twice, right?
This one that's on Ranvan right now?
Yeah.
It is not, no.
Randall, come over here. Give me your opinion. And I'd actually like to help Randall to make this check.
Yes. Oh, what the heck is going on with Ranvan? What? Look at me.
So, Brandel, do you happen to be... I'm sure you're proficient in Arcana. Are you proficient in medicine?
Negative, just Arcana.
Okay, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you and Leopold both eye Ranvan up and down as he has this sort of glazed over look upon his face. It's hard to tell here, Brandel. You know there's a lot of different magical maladies. This one does not ring a bell to you. You sort of look him up and down. Leopold, you're trying to add some context here, but yeah, you're not quite sure.
Ranvan will stretch his arms really wide and then gather up Brandel, Del, and Leopold in a big hug.
While Leo's getting hugged, he'll grimace and look over at Frederick, and he'll say, I don't think any of us can fix this.
Yeah. I mean, I only know one person who can, and it's an El Torrell.
It's actually the one that's affected.
Well, I mean, yeah, other than that... I mean, I suppose none of you guys can summon a Celestial or anything like that.
It's out of my wheelhouse.
Sadly, no.
Brandel, you can teleport things. Maybe we teleport back to El Torrell. Get Ranvan fixed.
How does your teleportation spell work, Brendo? Do you need like a physical item from somewhere to teleport back to that place?
Nope. I just need everyone to touch, hold hands, and kind of a nice kumbaya gesture. And I just say 3 words, and we're off. To a place that I'm familiar with, and El Torrell would fit the bill.
How many times per day can you cast it?
Well, in my current level of expertise, 1.
So if we want to get back today... Oh, go ahead, Del, I'm sorry.
Perhaps we should ransack this place for information before we leave. But we do need Ranvan.
Hey, actually, Adam, I ran right in that room. I'm AFK now. I see invisibility from 10 feet. So if he went invisible, I don't know, probably planar shifted or something. But do I see anything invisible from the doorway into the room?
You do not.
Here's my plan. We go outside. I can draw up a circle. We go back to El Torrell, and then after we get Randvon fixed, Brando, you bring us back.
Ranvon will turn around and notice Lexi now, and in the form she's in, he'll just like frown. He just looks sad.
And Lexi turns back green, seeing Ranvon in that state.
And he smiles.
I'm watching the token for it to change. Ooh, that's cool.
She's like,
I was on it. Just took a second.
That's like I was waiting. There it was.
To help with my teleport, Adam, is there something from here I can gather that I would be able to be more specific in my teleport back, like an item or something like that?
Let's see. So the parameters of the teleport spell have to do with how familiar you are with the area. So I would say right now you're probably on the viewed once level of familiarity with this place. To become very familiar, let's see.
Having an object does help that DC.
Yeah, it says seen casually is someplace you have seen more than once, but with which you aren't familiar. So I would say if you spent probably a period of time here of a few hours, you probably could bump it up to seen casually, but you're definitely not going to get to very familiar anytime soon.
I know Randon is incapacitated and I suspect his mind is feebled. There is still a secret door to the headquarters. While we're here, should we obviously bind Randon with utmost care, but maybe use my eyes of minute seeing and have a look around, Leopold, and see if we could at least discover if it's actually here.
I hate to be the one that brings it up, but maybe we're looking at the wrong side of the coin here to help Randvon. Maybe if we make it downstairs to that circle before we summon any pit fiend, we could summon something else that may be able to help him.
Okay, yeah, sorry, reading over this more carefully. It sounds like you were looking for the associated object piece of this. Okay, yes. So yeah, all right, sorry. Reading that part, I would say if you take maybe one of the ledgers that are in the book room, I would say you have an associated object.
Okay, yeah, and actually on that note, I want to investigate this room while they're talking about logistics and stuff, and I will take something familiar here.
Del will help.
All right, so I believe, Brandel, you're proficient in investigation?
Yeah, well, of course, yes. I'm very good at that.
Del, do you happen to be proficient in investigation?
No.
Okay, so Brandel, go ahead and give me a blind investigation check as Del's trying to assist you here. You can see that there's a lot of various books around here. It looks like most of them seem to be the ones that I would say are presented more publicly, meaning they're just kind of sitting right on an easily grabbed shelf. They're kind of more or less religious books of a variety of faiths. As you kind of start poking around some of the, the crates, the boxes, that kind of thing, you're finding more what you would consider to be religious books on faiths associated with evil deities and more along the lines of devil princes and Avernus, that type of thing. There's not like a huge number of books here. Altogether, there might be 15. But yeah, the more nefarious ones are tucked away.
All right, and since I'm here, we're on the topic. Can I look around for a secret door using my see invisibility and whatnot, and see if I can search for a secret door to the headquarters?
So I'll take your same roll as investigation as you spend about 10 minutes in this room, and you do not find any secret doors.
Nothing there.
It's another room on the other side.
Yes. Leo, will you please come help me?
Yes, and Leo pulls out the wand of secrets that he's had for a long time now. And he's going to use it.
Oh, wow, that's quite nice. It looks very balanced in your hand.
Do you have that one in postable fashion?
No.
Alright, no worries. Let me just SRD this real quick. Wand of Secrets. Okay,
Similar,
yeah, that's pretty clear.
group
So you're
item.
burning the charge right there where you're standing?
Yes.
Okay, the wand pulses and points right here.
Booyah.
What is it?
Can I look underneath? Is that a table?
That is a table. Yeah, it's like a desk that's pushed up against the wall.
I guess actually, can I investigate it for traps?
You can, yeah. Go ahead and throw me a blind investigation check as you look for traps. No, you don't find any traps here. Just a simple desk pushed up against the wall. There seems to be like this rug that is underneath the desk that the legs of the desk sit on.
I think this is it. I really don't want to open it or do anything to trigger anything without Ranvan. Well, so we know it's here. The real question is, do we want to split the party and some of us go back and some of us keep an eye on things here, or all of us go and then all of us come back?
Well,
Come back to the main room.
Well, I could magic circle around it.
When they
And
come
we
back out here, Adam, what's on this table?
That just has some doilies on it at the moment.
Yeah, Ranvan's gonna pick one up and try to eat it.
All right,
He'll
nice.
slap his hand away from his mouth, like while I'm talking and engaging to everybody else.
All right,
What's
I think at this
fantasy?
point we've got to give inspiration to the enfeebled Ranvan, because yes, he's playing an enfeebled person very well.
Oh my! I've been feeble-minded before. It sucks.
If we weren't in like the end game here, I think this would be hilarious and would love to keep going with it. But now it's like, oh my god, we're gonna die.
Well, I raised my thought from before. I mean, we're thinking about teleporting away, getting help from a cleric or something, but what if we just continue down? We know that there's a summoning circle below. We could maybe summon Kashichi, see if he'd be willing to help.
We did. Well, he's a
Crazy.
demon, right? He was a demon trapped in Avernus by Zariel, and that's what started the big fight. So I don't know if he's necessarily in the Nine Hells. Am I right, Adam? Koschiki was a demon, right?
Demon Lord.
Yeah. See, Brandel knows demons and devils.
Yeah, well, if you know demons and devils, you know that they've been in an eternal blood war.
No.
Well, hey, there's got to be other creatures, though, that can do that. That can restore him.
And I'm pretty sure you meant eternal blood war there, because an internal blood war would be a
Yeah.
whole nother thing.
That's what Lexi was experiencing.
should we bar the front door so nobody else can enter?
Wait,
Side doors as well. We don't have time to talk too much about it, guys. What do we want to do?
That priest could still come back, right?
Yeah, but he teleported, so he could just teleport right back inside, I imagine.
Right. But if we're here waiting for him,
I think Brandal and I need to take Ranvan back to El Terrell to get help, and then we need to come back as fast as we can. It's really all I can think of.
I think that's probably the best bet. We could try summoning something, but it's going to be a struggle to get anything out of anything down that will come up through that particular summoning circle. From what we
All right,
understand.
and in the essence of time, who is it in Elturel that you had a mind to seek? Is this just a church or someone in particular?
Her name escapes me now, but it was Rhea's mother, Mantlemorn. It's who Frederick's been corresponding with there, anyways. So I imagine he would try to track her down to see if she knew how exactly to help. And I assume that she would probably recommend a church or a shrine, and he would try to use it as leverage and
Yeah,
help
okay,
people.
fair enough. So if you're willing to burn a teleportation circle spell, and we know you have the circle on Elturel, specifically linked, so you could do that. Brandel, you would go with him, and then when you are completed with that, you would use teleport with the associated object to bring yourselves right back here.
I think that's the plan.
How long would that take? Should I magic circle this secret door from fiends? Kind of invert it before we leave?
What are you trying to stop with that?
I don't think I think this the circle thing is further in. I don't know if anything's gonna pop up through.
Yeah.
Also, he just ran away and didn't tell anybody or alerted any adversarial action that we would experience when we get back.
Sure. I mean, yeah, sure. He's probably warned something or someone, but that's why we need to move fast. I mean, teleportation is instant, so I assume that we could probably get back to El Terrell and have Ranvan cured in a matter of maybe an hour.
I think it's fine. We'll watch, keep an eye on it.
We'll do whatever it takes to get Ranvan well and back with us. And yes, I can get us back.
Okay, in an effort to fast track this, so yep, you burnt that. Give me a persuasion blind check, and then roll a d4 as well, Frederick. Brandel, go ahead and burn your teleport spell, and that's how you guys will get back. Okay, so you are able to track down Rhea Mantlemorn's mother. She does exactly what you expect and points you to the local church. Unfortunately, there's not somebody at the local church at that time to provide these services. It actually ends up taking you 4 hours to track down the appropriate person, make arrangements made, yada, 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 before they are able to offer to cast the spell for you. They do request a donation of 1,000 gold pieces in order to cast this very powerful clerical spell. They look towards you to see if this is going to be acceptable to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have the credit with the bank, so we're good. I got like 6K in the bank. That's what I tell them.
Fair enough. Yep, they will take your word for it, and then I assume you'll transfer those funds to them. So feel free to just fast track, deduct the 1,000 gold. They will cast a greater restoration spell, cleansing the feeble-minded off Ranvan, who I imagine is very confused. And as you guys are telling him, filling him in on the story of all of this, of what's happened, Brandel, you cast the teleport spell and bring the group right back to the room southwest, where you guys then kind of step out and realize you're all here. Rest of the team, 4 hours. During this time, anything in particular you guys wanted to do?
I want to reestablish a telekinetic bond, and as a ritual.
Telekinetic bond? Are you going to shove them around all day?
Oh, telepathic.
See, I got to be that guy. I'm the editor of things. So when people do, but all right. So when you get back, you can certainly spend the 11 minutes or so doing that. So those of you guys that were waiting here, though, the 4 hours, other than just kind of hanging out, looking, making sure nothing dangerous, anything in particular?
Silver's gonna stay glued watching the spot, and then I think Leo kind of wanders around this place and starts like picking it apart and seeing if there's any other interesting things around that he might find.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and throw me an investigation check, blind. I'll give you advantage on this as you're spending quite a bit of time here looking around. You are able to eventually find, tucked away in the main room, under that like credenza thing that is backed up against the wall, you can find that there's like this pouch that is essentially tucked up underneath the credenza. It's kind of strange. As you touch upon it, you kind of pull it out. You find that there is this bone orb that is engraved with spirals. It looks to be very decorative in nature.
Oh.
Like,
It's an orb?
Sylvanus nature?
Nope. I'd say this is more like Merkle nature.
So it's made out of bone and it's an orb shape.
Yes, it is a bone orb engraved with spirals.
All right.
I can take a look at it if you'd like.
Take a look. I'm stumped.
Let me just do Identify Adam as a ritual. We have 10 more minutes, 20 minutes here.
Okay, sure. You spend some additional time to cast Identify on it. It is not magical. It seems to be a valuable piece of, not necessarily jewelry, but it's clearly something that somebody would find to be interesting, maybe put on a mantelpiece if you're into this kind of stuff.
It's mundane and boring.
You could sell it and buy some tree carbon offsets, maybe.
Just so we don't have
you guys
to
care?
get...
You sell every orb you get, guys. Why do you care? Or trade it?
And I was going to say, just so we don't struggle to figure out this one later in case it comes up, you would imagine this is worth about 250 gold pieces, Leo.
It's worth a decent amount. Leo would just kind of let Randall hold on to it.
Well, give it to me.
You'll need it. You could barter with Asmodeus when you get down there. And then Leo's going to come in here and he's going to start moving the table.
Okay, you shift the desk backward. It takes a little bit of effort there. You notice this rug lying on the ground. You kind of pull that back, and you kind of at first think, well, this is strange because there's actually nothing here. But knowing that your wand pushed here, indicated right here, you continue feeling around, and you realize there's actually a very thin line on the ground that kind of goes in circular fashion, and it connects to this same color as the floor toggle. So once you grab onto the toggle and start pulling it up, it's almost like the line just kind of pulls right up, and you have this separated 5-foot square section of floor that you can just lift upwards.
Right, are we ready?
Well, before we go in, Adam, can you describe what the cultists were wearing? There was at least 3 of them, and anything significant on the bodies?
I would say the main impression you got up here is that these guys were more like the public-facing kind of thing. So they weren't wearing anything that was obviously indicated in any way to be like cultists, nothing to do with devils, nothing along those lines. It was very basic trousers, like a cloaked, hooded cloak kind of thing. Even the guy that you guys called the priest, think of this as very simple vestments that he was wearing. So again, nothing that, other than the black gloves with the gold on them, I'd say that's probably the only thing that was distinctive about them.
Okay, well, I'll take a pair of gloves.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly do that.
I'm not going to put them on, but I'm going to just grab them.
Hey, Frederick, I didn't do anything embarrassing while I was afflicted, did I?
I'm not sure what you'd classify as embarrassing, Renvon.
I mean, anything that would kind of ruin my image, make me look not cool.
Not cool, huh?
Yeah.
I'd say eating the dollies probably did it, but...
Eating the dolly, and he'll look at the desk, and he gets like a little bit of Pavlov response where his mouth is like filled with saliva. He's like, I don't think I would eat the doilies.
Yeah. You can go and look. I had to pull it out of your mouth. But hold that thought, Renvon. And I'm gonna put my hand on Lexi's back while I'm looking at him, and I'm just going to give her a quick little... Oof. 11.
Thanks, Frederick.
No problem. Renvon, we care about you too much to worry about whether or not you embarrass yourself. How do you feel? Strong? Smart?
I feel good now. Yeah, I feel fine.
Good, okay. I'm ready back here.
Leo will do the after you motion to Dell.
Well, it's open, right?
It is.
I have room for another eye to send down.
Part of me wants to tell you to save your spell energy, but...
Well, it's a divination spell. It's not a complete waste. I get one
right.
back. below it?
I can tell you what's down there. It's probably a wet, moist atmosphere. Dark, I would assume. Maybe lit by low torches. And there's probably bad guys. A couple of hallways, a couple of rooms. More bad guys. And then there's a big room at the back. It's got a big circle in it. That's what we're looking for.
Damn, who needs Arcane Eye? You just got Frederick Eye.
Yeah. All right. I can cast it here quite openly though, and it'll last an hour. I can hold it.
You got a poop?
No,
Oh,
I
you
mean,
meant
yeah.
Arcane Eye. I got you. I
No,
got you.
I do have to, but I find a way to control it with my mind. Carry on.
All right, so it sounds like the group is ready to descend in this area. All right, hearing no objections, you guys look down this area and start descending down this staircase, which actually is like very brief, goes to a ladder. You start climbing down it and find yourself in this lit room with a large hand imprint emblazoned on the ground and several hands lit up with light in the alcoves around the room, casting a very strange glow. And we will find out what is down there next week, everybody. So hope everybody enjoyed this session, and we've got 2 more sessions to go. We'll see if, I'll do my big announcer voice here. Can Brandel get his soul back in the next 2 weeks? Let's find out on the next episode of Candlekeep Mysteries.
Dun dun dun. Great session, everybody. It's fun to be back as Frederick.
Yeah, it's good to have everyone back in these last final episode.
I'm glad Ranvon is back because that would have been terrible.
Gosh.
Oh, totally.
A full session of Enfeebled Ranvon could have been fun, though. I think he'd have made it really good.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I would have very much enjoyed it as we were dying slowly to the
Right. That's the bad side of it, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, good session, everybody. Hope you all had fun. We'll see y'all next week.
Yep.
Thanks.
Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.